Let me know if you got audio. Feel free to cue me in on that. Give me my audio check so we can get the show on the road. Quite a day actually. We've had a fairly busy one. We don't normally it's not as well. It's Trump. I'll say that again. It's Trump. So in the era of Trump, you can have busy days, you can have dead days, but today was a busy day. Thank you for the audio check, Brian and Puffy's mom. Puffy's Puffy's mom. How is P Diddy, by the way? Have you called and checked on your son? Puffy's mom. I like that. But give me a second to get the other streams going, and we should have a program momentarily. Puffy's mom. That's funny. Give me a second here, get this last stream going, and we can get the party going. A lot of things took place in a short period of time. I wasn't on yesterday because I did 2 damn lives on Saturday. But just because I wasn't on don't mean a lot of news didn't happen. So I want to get down to the nitty gritty. So good evening, folks. Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Glad to have all you guys on. Happy Monday to you. I'll give it a moment for folks to begin filtering in, but good evening to you. I see my boy handsome conservative on Clapper. Good to see you there, conservative. So President Trump, I probably should just start the live off with an automated recording of myself saying President Trump. At least for the next probably 3 or 4 years, he's probably going to be dominating what we talk about it. And I say 3 or 4 years, that means he's going to likely be dominating even after he's out of office. He just is a president like nothing we've ever had, and today is no exception. So I do want to get into what we're discussing. You can probably see on the monitor behind me that President Trump threatened to bomb the nation of Oman today. And I mean, I don't, some of this shit I don't even have an explanation for, but I'll let the news clips talk to you because like I said, some of this is above my knowledge and angle, because why one president would do this stuff, I don't know.
A new threat for President Trump as a window formally closes in the war with Iran. Today marks the end of the Memorandum of Understanding, as it's called, and its 60-day deadline for peace talks between the U.S. and Iran. This morning, there are no plans in sight to end the war, and while it's not clear what happens next, President Trump is lashing out. And one very unlikely target is Oman, a key U.S. ally in the Middle East and a broker in trying to seek a deal with Iran to try to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. This morning, the president tells Fox News, and I'm quoting the president right now, listen to this: "If Oman gets in the way, we'll bomb the shit out of them." Those are the president's words. He also downplays the urgency of a deal as war-weary Americans deal with high gas and oil prices. And his quote, once again, "I have no time schedule. I'm not in a hurry." And
so now he's threatening to bomb Oman. Now, I did a video earlier called "Keep the Back Channels Open to Stave Off Disaster." The purpose of the back channels are, let's say any of you folks, particularly my beloved MAGA, because a hell of a lot of you don't like some of what we talk about here on air, and I don't mind that. I don't block, ban, or censor. But let's say I got a MAGA viewer that just thinks I'm the worst piece of shit, and they got problems with me, and let's say I have problems with them, and we can't talk to each other, but we want to resolve our issue. So we find someone else that is neutral to both of us. Maybe somebody who is a registered independent, somebody that is MAGA's cool with them, and perhaps the Democrat side of the house cool with them as well. That person that we're both talking to negotiate our beef is Oman. Oman is somewhat of an ally to the United States right now because they are the ones operating as the back channel so that Washington can talk to them and Tehran. Both sides can talk, tell their wishes, all of that. Because, the Trump administration And the Iranians are not going to meet with Trump constantly threatening to kill them, all of us. So they're not going to likely meet with Rubio or Hegseth or Vance or anybody. They're not going to come meet with any of us because the Trump administration has already killed their top level of government and he's threatened the ones that are in power now. So they're going to have to go through some kind of mediator or some kind of negotiator, that being the nation of Oman. Well, Trump is now threatening Oman, suggesting that if they get in the way of the peace deal or something of that nature. I don't know what led him to say that. And I'll certainly, hopefully, I can hear from some of you folks, particularly my beloved MAGA. I need somebody to defend this because this sounds terrible. This absolutely sounds terrible to do something like this. So I do want to perhaps get some opinions from some Trump supporters on, maybe a way to see this in a positive light. Because if we make an enemy out of Oman, how do we now talk to Iran? Who else is Iran going to trust and we trust at the same time to make the conversation happen? Remember, we're allies with most of the countries surrounding Iran. That's why they're bombing those countries, because we're launching attacks from the likes of Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Bahrain. So who else would there be if Trump is now potentially trying to make an enemy out of Oman? So I do want to hear from you folks, particularly some of my MAGA that can maybe explain that. I don't see it. I don't see why or the purpose of that. But in addition to that, we also have another topic that I think is kind of interesting, and it's probably just as controversial as President Trump threatening to bomb Oman. Now, this is from the Fox News channel, not FNC out of New York. Well, they are in New York. They're in the same building, One America Plaza. But this is the network that gives you the news from somewhat more of a neutral standpoint.
Live now, I'm Austin Westfall. Live look at the White House, 7:15 in the nation's capital. We're getting breaking news from President Trump. He's ordering the Pentagon to scale back planned joint military exercises with South Korea. He says South Korea declined to help denuclearize Iran. He's also citing his good relationship with North Korea's Kim Jong-un. He posted this statement on Truth Social.
Listen to this.
Based on my very good relationship with Kim Jong-un of North Korea, I am not happy with the fact that the United States has long ago agreed to participate in joint military exercises with South Korea. These exercises are not only costly, with much of these costs paid for by the United States of America as usual, but send a signal that is totally inappropriate and hostile to a country that, as long as Donald J. Trump has been president, has been unthreatening and respectful. Therefore, and based on the fact that it is too late to cancel, I have instructed Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to substantially reduce the joint military exercises. While somewhat unrelated, I recently asked the president of South Korea if they would like to join us in the denuclearization of the Islamic Republic of Iran, and they said, quote, "No thanks. Thank you for your attention to this matter." President signs off there at the bottom. Okay, so let's talk about this with retired Marine intelligence officer.
Okay, the controversy in this is obvious. To keep North Korea at bay, we have often done joint military exercises with South Korea. These are kind of the saber rattling of sorts, things like that. North Korea does the same thing, by the way, when they're launching missiles and all of that shit. You're kind of sticking out your chest. You're kind of showing the audience that you can handle things if necessary. You're kind of playing I hate to throw this out there, but we talked about this in the last live. You're kind of acting like Derek Chauvin in front of all of the folks that were pissed off. It's kind of an ego boost. That's what these military exercises are like. Well, President Trump has ordered the Pentagon to scale down those exercises because he is saying that he is on good standing with North Korea, with Kim Jong-un. Now, you may remember during Trump's first term, he went over to North Korea and met with Kim Jong-un, and they shook hands across the DMZ and all of that stuff. So he is literally telling the South Koreans, I'm on good terms with North Korea, so I'm not going to do this, because he's saying it will be viewed as uh, somewhat of a sign of aggression. In his post, he says it will send a signal that is totally inappropriate and hostile. So he doesn't want to appear hostile to Kim Jong-un, is what he's saying. Now, understand the second part of this tweet, Truth Social post, or whatever the case may be, likely has the real reason why Trump is scaling this back. And he talks about how he asked the leaders of South Korea would they participate in helping denuclearize Iran, and they declined to participate. So that's more likely what's going on. Is this is a revenge play for South Korea not helping in the Iran war. And so now he is saying, well, if you won't help in our war, if you have an enemy, we will not help with you. Sounds far more like President Trump, for the simple fact he operates on revenge. Everybody knows that. He demands loyalty. Everybody knows that. If you're not loyal to the president, you will have beef with the president. Everybody knows that. And I'm talking to my MAGA side of the audience too. You damn well know, you've damn well seen everyone that has proven not to be 100% loyal to President Trump or that has had beef with President Trump immediately had problems with President Trump. So now he's just escalating into the fact of if you're a nation and you don't help us, we're not going to help you. So South Korea has seen that. Obviously, there's a lot of NATO member nations that also decline to help denuclearize Iran. So the NATO member nations, even though South Korea is not a NATO member nation, all the NATO member nations should take note of this, that President Trump has stated that he's kind of punishing South Korea for not participating. So any NATO member nation, if you find yourself the victim of a conflict, understand the United States participation, Article 5, an attack against one is an attack against all. It might be kind of iffy in regards to whether the United States will step up and join in, just because of what President Trump is saying. So we'll talk about that. And do you think Trump was right to bring up that Iran didn't help us? Was it legit that, they didn't help us? We should do the same. Do you favor and agree with President Trump somewhat taking revenge against South Korea and citing that we're on good terms with North Korea? How about that? Did not know that. Tap the screen, by the way. Get the likes on up to 10,000. It helps out the algorithm. Smash that like button if you're watching us on YouTube. We're going to get right into the show fairly quickly here. But before we do, I got a couple more videos I want to run by you, and then we'll go ahead and make the party go on. This one here, I saw this on TikTok. This is someone else's material, somebody else's content. But what the man says is something I want to discuss. I don't even know who the person is, just some random dude. But I do want you to hear what he says, comparing the two constitutional rights that all of us Americans have from the age of 18.
Yeah, but only American citizens should vote. A constitutional right. Is voting a constitutional right? Yeah, but only American citizens should vote. I agree. Now, is owning a gun a constitutional right? Yeah, but no but. Okay, so how do we stop people from voting illegally? The SAVE Act. We need more laws and regulations. Even if that makes voting harder for some American citizens? Yep. We need safeguards. Okay, so how do we make it harder for criminals to get guns? You can't. What do you mean? Criminals will get guns anyway. So how about we just add safeguards to make it harder? Nope, because then you make it harder for law-abiding citizens to get a gun. But you're okay making it harder for law-abiding citizens to vote. Well, that's different. Why? Because owning a gun is a constitutional right. So is voting. Yeah, but...
And I saw this earlier, and I gotta bring this to my audience and get their opinion on that. He is pointing out that both voting and your 2A rights are constitutional given rights. You turn 18, you can vote. You turn 18 or 21, depending on your state, you can own a firearm. So they're both constitutionally protected rights. The Save America Act will put hurdles in place for you to vote. And he's saying that why won't they put hurdles in place, just like you want to make sure only people who can vote do vote. He's saying you want to make sure only people who legally can own a gun or have the right to own a gun gets it. So, you don't want the wrong person to vote. You don't want the wrong person to own a firearm. So he's asking, why are we protecting one being voting rights more so than gun rights? And it's crazy. If you view what he's saying, it is kind of wild that there would be more hurdles to vote than own guns. So maybe he's getting that wrong. So I want to hear from you folks. And last but not least, before we start taking callers and tap the screen, get us up to 10,000. This one here, coming to a neighborhood near you, if not already. I just want to get your opinion on this, because we talk about things like not only free speech, but your privacy rights and
concerns regarding automated license plate readers are on the rise following several arrests of law enforcement officers misusing the surveillance systems. Reporter Sierra Rucker spoke to an attorney and asks, when does it become an invasion of privacy?
With more flock camera safety systems like this one growing in communities across the nation, there's also growing concerns over safety and misuse of these surveillance systems.
I don't blame citizens for being upset about it and being tracked as they are.
Flock cameras continue to be the center of debate in communities, with concerns over its detailed AI tracking abilities, with a growing number of law enforcement agencies across the country facing misuse of the systems.
So some of these officers that we've seen that have been arrested, where the stories have been released, there were one officer was tracking her ex-boyfriend's current girlfriend, and that would be against the stalking statute in any state of which I'm aware.
The latest in Georgia, a former Polk County police officer arrested for using the flock camera system for non-law enforcement use. Also in Georgia, 5 Albany officers arrested for that same crime, with several other similar cases at departments across the nation.
You can see it in the headlines. We are finding bad cops and holding them accountable.
Flock Safety founder and CEO responding to the growing issue amongst law enforcement. On Thursday, Garrett Langley announcing changes to the platform.
And I want to just, we probably won't talk a lot about this, but I do want to get your opinion on this. These are what they call these flock cameras. These things are using AI, and what's happening is when you drive past these things, they record your license plate number, and they keep it on file for a month. And listen, if you live in a major urban area like Chicago, where I'm talking from, these things can be everywhere. So they can literally, if needed, trace your path going back 30 days. They can tell you went to the store on Friday, or your path you took to work 2 weeks ago. 30 days worth of license. They read every license plate that goes by, and they keep that on file for 30 days. Now, these are all over the country. I'm in a heavily populated city like Chicago, because there's going to be more of them. But you may live in a small town that may have, still may have several of these. So this does allow them to not only track which cars go by, but keep it on record, so that they can literally, if necessary, I suppose you can receive a warrant from a judge. They put your license plate in, and it's kind of like your cell phone signal at this point, where your phone is constantly pinging off towers. Well, now these flock cameras are going to be the equivalent of a cell phone tower. Every time your car drives by and they take a picture of the license plate, you're essentially pinging that camera. So they can type in a computer your license plate number, and it'll tell them at what time it was last recorded, which would give them a lot of information into where you were located at any given time over the last 30 days is what they're saying now. Now that's 30 days. With all these data centers being built, who knows? They may want to keep track of for a year. You just don't know. It's up to them to decide how long they're going to keep track of the license plate information. And it's up to you to decide whether they're even telling you the truth when they say 30 days. So, I mean, you hear in the news article or the news broadcast there, Cops are using this shit to track down ex-girlfriends and lovers. So the police, having access to the system, are using the system for their own nefarious purposes. Where they can, look, if you're going to go out, let's say, for instance, your woman went out of town and you got a mistress coming over. You can punch her license plate in and make sure she's not back in town yet. I mean, they're using this shit for their own personal benefit. And you hear them say that cops all over the country are getting caught using this, which kind of really makes one thing clear. There's a lot more crooked cops out there than people realize. Remember, we only see the ones that are caught on video. Now, all of a sudden, they introduced this system that can violate people's privacy, and they're catching cops using the system for all the wrong reasons. So there's a lot of, obviously, this system ain't been around that long. And they're catching all these cops. So there's obviously a lot of corrupt cops out there. But anyhow, this is the show. You guys know how we run it. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. Our comments go left of Abdul El Saeed or Zohan Mamdani to I'm having dinner with Q. You can be critical of anybody on the program, including yours truly. We make the solemn promise on every show that we are MAGA friendly. We will remain MAGA friendly throughout the entirety of the broadcast. We don't ever censor or limit MAGA for having a difference of opinion. Yes, we may challenge MAGA. Yes, we may criticize Trump. But if MAGA comes on the show and they got the same sort of energy and criticism for the left, we don't censor or block or ban that. So we are all about free speech here. So looking straight in the comments, and by the way, tap the screen, get the likes up. If you're watching us on YouTube, I need you to smash that like button as well. In the comments, that's where we get all junk mail and spam phone calls. Is that how it works? Yeah, I could care less. It's no different than Facebook, YouTube, or anybody else selling our information. So it's okay to give more of it out? Are you okay then with some type of gun registration? Since you don't care, I mean, let me know where it stops. Let me know where you actually do care. In the comments, out of 750,000 police officers, 50 have used this information. Well, first of all, my guess is it's probably a lot more than 50. But understand when I say there are a lot of corrupt cops out there, some cops have used the flock cameras. Other cops have grabbed somebody off the street and just beat the shit out of them. Everybody ain't used this as their method of corruption. Some folks shake down drug dealers. You pull over a guy, he's selling drugs on the corner. You pat him down for weapons and find a knot of cash in his pocket. You look at him like a la Denzel Washington in Training Day. Do you want to go to jail or do you want to go home? You ain't seen this money? Get the fuck out of here. You realize how often that happens? There's a lot of corrupt fucking cops out here. Everybody ain't out beating folks or doing racist shit. There's a million other avenues when you have the power of an officer to be corrupt, including the flock cameras, which is what we're talking about. Looking in the comments, America has been falling since the Biden administration was in office and opened the floodgates and told everyone it was okay to be stupid and the law was not going to hold them accountable. Rebecca, you see that under Biden? You see Biden telling everyone it's okay to be stupid and the law is not going to hold them. Do you view the January 6th pardons like that at all? Do you think Trump has corrected the error of Biden's ways? Because he's pardoning a whole lot of criminals. Or do you believe Trump just simply took what Biden was doing to a whole new level of corruption? Let me know in the comments. We'll go to the box. As I said, tap the screen, help your boy with the hat and mustache. TikTok cap goals. Lakers. Good evening. Welcome to the program.
Tim.
What am I getting wrong?
It's been a while since I've talked to you.
Okay, fair enough. I don't recognize the name.
Yeah. I was JC before, but anyway, we've talked several times. But what I see is happening right now is Trump is doing scorchers. He knows it's over for him. He knows what's coming in November.
Wait a minute. Are you suggesting that our president, our commander-in-chief, knows it's over for him, so he's going to go scorched earth, which could put us all at risk?
Absolutely. Do you think he cares about us?
I was told.
When was the day that you believed that Trump cared about you? What day was that?
The hat says it's going to make America great.
Right. Okay, I'm going to ask you again, Tim. What day did you discover that Trump cared about you?
Well, listen.
Any other American?
I'm going to be honest. I don't look at any of them, even President Biden, and say he cares about me specifically.
I think Biden cared about the American people. I think Ronald Reagan cared about the American people. I'm looking at what we're looking at. You know what we've got these gas prices, housing, immigrants. People can't get food, energy's high, healthcare is high. And what is he talking about? A ballroom.
Well,
what is he talking about? The reflection pool. What is he talking about? Look at how I did the gold all in the White House. Look at what is he talking about? He's never talked about the people. He doesn't care about the military. He said that this weekend. They should have been there longer. He doesn't care about, this is a 5-time draft dodger. He doesn't care about the military. He doesn't care about those kids that are out there fighting for this country.
What about the notion that he's made it clear that Iran cannot have a nuke, and he is operating in a manner that keeps us all safe from nuclear Iran? Is that not showing that he cares about America?
Iran's never had a nuke. Obama had a plan. Obama's plan was working. Obama took 93% of their uranium out of Iran with a deal. So Trump slashes the deal. If I was Iran, I'm like, hey, let's whip it up. We ain't got no more deal. I would do the same thing. And now he's trying to get back to that deal. He's desperately trying to get back to that deal. So because he doesn't know what the F he is doing, Tim, and you and I know that.
So when Trump says that Iran was going, not only were they developing a nuke, they would have used it by now. What are you suggesting? He's lying to us?
Yes.
Why would he?
Yes.
Why would he do that? Why would he lie? Why would he lie and get us into a war?
He lied and he got us into a war.
Why would he do that? What would be the reason?
Because of his ego. He's a narcissist. He should never be there. He's building a helipad. He's building a ballroom. He's golding the White House. He's trying to gold D.C. What about the American people with the food? What about the American people with the gas and the energy and health care? What has he done for the American people? That's what I ask you.
Well,
and you know the truth.
Well, according
to you're going to play devil's advocate.
Well, wait a minute. According to President Trump, he says that currently there are more Americans working than any time in history. He says our economy is the best it's ever been.
You know, every 5 years in history, we have more people.
Yeah.
We have more people. We have more people born than die. So that statement doesn't mean anything. When Obama was president, we had more people working in America than in history. When Biden was president, we had more people working in America in history. What does that mean, Tim? Tell me what that means.
Well, it means that we have positive employment.
Right. And what has he done for positive employment? His infrastructure bill?
No tax on tips.
That?
No tax on tips. How about that? That's no tax on tips helps the working. What about no tax on tips that helps the working man? What say you?
Yeah, what is it? Can't go over 25 grand?
Yeah.
And it comes with your taxes. It's not like, because I know a lot of kids out there that are working as waiters, and they thought, oh, we're not going to get to, oh, I got my check. And I'm like, yeah, you don't understand what that is. And by the way, that no tax on tip has a expiration date.
Yeah, it does. But right now, that's not happening. What about all of the, in regards to our tax money, what about all the waste, fraud, and abuse that him and Elon got rid of? Is that not beneficial?
It hasn't been beneficial. Where's my check? We were supposed to get checks.
It might
Where's
be.
our checks?
It may be in.
Where were we supposed to get checks?
We're at.
Tim,
We're at.
we supposed to get checks?
Hold on. I get your point
We
about the
supposed to get
checks.
checks?
Yes, but sir, we are at war. Quit being greedy. Right now, we got a bigger problem.
Why are we at war? Because we have a moron in the White House. That's why we're at war. The reason why we're at war is he wanted to get away from that E. Jean Carroll crap. The reason why we're at war is he wanted to get away from the Epstein files. He wanted to make a distraction. And we now know he is nothing but a coward hiding in a catering truck.
You're seeing President Trump.
That's a coward.
You're seeing President Trump, our commander-in-chief, like literally the most alpha male of presidents we've ever had. You're calling him a coward? A coward?
He's an alpha male?
Yes.
He's a narcissist.
Okay.
He's a narcissist. His wives can't even stand him. Even his current one. He's a narcissist.
How the hell do you know Melania that's always with him, always looking nice, always dressed sharp? How do you know Melania don't like him?
Tam, when was the last time you seen him with her? She wasn't at the correspondence dinner. When was the last time you saw Melania with him? She didn't go to Turkey. When was the last time you saw Melania with Donald J. Trump? Tell me.
Well, listen.
I'll wait.
You don't have to, and I'll tell you the answer. We're at war. You don't see Zelensky with his wife ever, do you? We're at war. Keep her safe.
Zelensky ain't my president.
No, but you don't go.
We're talking about Donald Trump. Tina Turner didn't hang out with Ike.
What the fuck is that?
Come on, Tim.
That's
what you're doing. You moving the goalposts.
What the hell does Turner and Ike got to do with this?
Tina Turner didn't hang out with Ike.
Trump is a peaceful man. He ain't.
Asshole.
Trump is a peaceful man. He's not beating Melania Trump's ass like Ike Turner.
No. She's hanging for the money. She's hanging. There's nobody. I know she got a voodoo doll of Trump.
Melania, our first lady.
She waiting.
You're telling me.
Waiting.
You're telling me our beautiful first lady speaks 5 languages, had her own money. You're telling me she's a gold digger? Or is that what you're trying to paint her as?
Where'd she get her own money from?
She was a model.
Wasn't modeling. Modeling what? Have you seen those pictures?
They're pretty nice. The ones with her with no clothes on are fairly nice. I mean, I'm not arguing with her. She looks pretty nice.
Oh, yeah. She made a lot of money off of that. What cover was she on? You making Cindy Crawford money?
I don't listen. I don't often pay attention.
She didn't have money.
Hold on. When you ask
she was pimped.
Wait.
She was pimped out by Epstein.
When you ask what
pimped her out to Trump.
When you ask what cover she was on, understand. For models like Melania, I don't pay attention to covers. I usually open it up to the center of the book. So I don't know what cover she was on. I just don't. I like what's in the center of the book, okay?
I like that little dig. That was good.
Yeah, I like what's in the center.
That's funny.
So,
all I'm saying to you is you have not seen, she's there for the Monet. That's all she wants. And I'm not talking about pictures. She's there for the money.
No, she's already set
and she's
for
always
life.
been there.
She's already set for life.
Yeah, absolutely. Epstein pimped her out to Trump.
Has he right for America in your eyes at all? You sound like you really hate the guy.
I'm trying to think.
You don't have that. DC, you don't have that. That derangement stuff. You don't have that, do you?
Well, TDS to me means something else. TDS is Trump dick sucker. That's what TDS is to me. So no, I do not have that.
Okay, but that's a bit different. That's a bit different.
Tim, I love you when you come on, and I know you got to play devil's advocate, but this man ain't done nothing for nobody. He's trying to build a ballroom. He effed up the reflection pool. He effed up the 250 July 4th. It was going to be a big deal, July 4th. He's effed up the Kennedy Center. I used to work for the Kennedy Center.
Oh.
We all went. You know who else worked there?
Ooh.
My girl Sandra Rhimes worked there.
Oh.
We all went running for the hills. She was on the board. But now who they got on the board?
Well,
they got Laura Ingraham on the board. Laura Ingram's
from
on the board.
Fox?
Not a Sandra Rhimes.
Yeah.
Laura Ingraham.
Well, listen.
And we all bailed out of there. We were supposed to do Hamilton there. You know, I've done Hamilton for 6 years. As soon as Trump came in, they're like, no, we canceling that. No, we good.
I assume it will rebound. It'll just have to be after Trump's era.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that era is coming in November. I really.
What are you anticipating? What are you anticipating? What are you anticipating?
I'm anticipating the Democrats to take the Senate. I'm anticipating the Democrats to take the House. And once they take the House, subpoenas will be flying.
Yeah,
they will be flying.
Yeah.
Miller's in trouble. His whole, and then they can impeach the entire administration, not just Trump. They can impeach Vance.
Will that be good for the unity of this nation? No, couldn't that break us up?
Unity? We got unity now?
Plus or minus.
He's over there now. He's trying to get North Korea and South Korea to fight again. Wow. What do you think? He is going scorched earth. This North Korea, South Korea thing is serious, Tim. Because what you're going to have is you're going to have American bodies over there. And you're going to have American bodies coming in body bags because of this narcissist idiot. Just like in Iran. And that's what people should be angry about.
Why do you think if the bleak picture you're painting is anywhere near accurate, why is the Republican Congress not seeing it the way you do? Because they can stop this.
Because they are pussies. And the reason why I say that is, what did Trump do? Trump got, I can't remember, was it Tiller? It was two of the Republicans. He got primary. And then he needed their vote. And you know what those pussies did? Because if Trump would have gotten me primaried and got me out of my job, I would have been a Democrat. I would have turned right and been there and go, okay, you want to play, bro? Let me play with you.
Yeah, we did expect that. We expected that from the likes of Thomas Massey and some of them, but it hasn't measured up. It has not measured up.
And they caved.
Yeah.
Yeah, they caved. And they caved to this bully. I wish to God. I always wanted to be, I grew up in D.C. I was big on the politics. I worked with the Clinton administration. Not a big job. It was just the entertainment part. But, I was a policy maker. But what I'm saying is I was into it. I wish to God I would have stuck to it. I wish I would have stuck to it.
You missed your calling, some would say.
I did. But, being an actor, I still got my calling.
Right.
But I'm just saying to you, Tim, you better watch North Korea, South Korea. That is going to be the end for Trump.
I gotta move it on, but what about China and Taiwan before I let you go?
China ain't gonna take Taiwan. They ain't gonna do that because China knows they gotta deal with the next. They know. You see how G handled Trump when he went over there?
Yeah.
Trump left. He left there with a box of rose seeds. He didn't leave there with 500 Boeings. He didn't leave there with a deal. Xi played the fuck out of him, and then Putin came the next week.
Yeah, that is what happened.
Xi met Putin at the plane.
Wow. So no, but Taiwan is safe in your opinion.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Because you got to deal with the next. You got to deal with the next administration. And China knows Trump is about ready to go.
Ooh.
They know. Everybody knows.
I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% sure. I see a bunch of lovely red hats every day. I gotta move it on though. I appreciate.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on, Tim. I read today the big mega store in Tennessee shutting down. You know why? Nobody cares anymore. There's a big. If you haven't seen it, you should read.
Mega store carrying what?
All his MAGA shit. Them hats that you
wow.
It's a huge, they're shutting down. And the girls went to one girl that worked there. Why are you shutting down? Well, the owner's moving to Florida. The owner came out and said, I ain't moving to Florida. It's because nobody's buying anything.
Wow. Well, maybe this show can get a few things on discount. I gotta go. Appreciate you coming 50%
through. 50% off. 50%
Yeah.
off.
Hey, there may be hope. Good to have you back on again. Certainly don't be a stranger.
All right, thanks, Tim.
Anytime. Tap the screen. Can we get 30,000? Can we get some love? Show your boy some love with the hat, mustache, TikTok cap goals that are absolutely at 0 right now. Show your boy some love in the comments. Good evening, family Boy. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, the host that keeps on giving. Put your hands together for the handsome liberal. Thank you, handsome conservative. All right. Don't know. Isn't Biden deceased anyways? Not yet, just the truth. Not yet. Put it this way, you'll know when Biden is dead because Trump will celebrate on Truth Social. Guaranteed. I'm making that prediction right now. Guaranteed that if Biden passes away before Trump and Trump is still within his faculties, Trump will say something harsh about Biden upon his death. So you'll know then. In the comments, libtards literally don't think to make choices and only use their emotions. Justin MC, only libtards, huh? No emotions from the right, huh? Just only libtards. English McCormick says all that makes America white again shit is over. It's not over yet. I'll tell you it is. We got to see what happens in the midterms. And I'm giving you my personal opinion on this, and tap the screen, as I said, next all at 30,000. My personal opinion is I think the liberals may overestimate what's going to happen in the midterms. I don't feel confident that the midterm election will go the way most elections go. I absolutely expect claims of widespread fraud. I absolutely expect claims of interference, election interference, et cetera, coming from both sides of the aisle. Coming from both sides of the aisle, there will be claims that the election was not held properly. Somebody did something that was wrong or illegal. So understand that could have an effect on the outcome. There might be a push to try to refuse to certify folks, or say we got to do recounts. Certainly at the federal level, I'm going to tell you anything is possible. Literally anything is possible. The Congress, not the Senate, but Congress is where the Democrats are predicted to have the most success. You got to get around Mike Johnson, or was it Tim Johnson, whatever his name, Speaker of the House Johnson. I always say Mike or Tim, whichever one. You got to get around that, because unlike former Vice President Mike Pence, Trump says do not certify a new winning member of Congress, Johnson will do that. Mike Pence did not. I don't believe Johnson will resist in the same way Pence did. So you could have that. And if that's the case, then come January, the winner is not getting sworn in. We've already seen Johnson in action by refusing to swear in a congressional member in Arizona that won when the government was closed. He used that as an experiment shutdown. I'm not going to swear her in until we get back in business. When he has absolutely sworn people in during other shutdowns in the past, they were just Republicans. This time it's a Democrat. He put up an excuse. So if he's willing to play games like that on that particular person, you can only imagine what he'll do if Trump asks him to. And I don't think there's anybody that doubts that Trump may not bring up some kind of perception of fraud and tell him not to swear people in. Could absolutely happen. So we'll have to see what happens with that first before we start talking about who's going to win and all of that. In the comments, no, not Vance, Osby. I'm talking about Johnson. Wouldn't Johnson be the one swearing in congressional members, Speaker of the House? Looking in the comments, maybe I'm wrong. Just going to slide that slur over to the next guy. What is a slur? Who are you going to call Hitler when Trump's term is over? Damn. Trump is going to stop Iran from destroying the United States. Do you think Iran is even remotely capable of destroying the United States at all? How would they do that? Even if they had a nuke, okay, so you could probably, destroy, maybe one geographical area or a part of it. but we have thousands of them. How is Iran going to even? Why would that even be part of the conversation? Iran is at no point capable of destroying the entire United States. At best, they could do damage to United States interests in their region. But as far as striking Charlotte, North Carolina, so it's just not going to happen. They're not going to hit Providence, Rhode Island, or something like that. It's just they don't have the capabilities. That had to be a statement from MAGA coat trash, says Lakers. Well, I'm just reading the comments. Going back to the box and help your boy out with the hat and mustache, tick, tock, cap, goals. Show your boy some love, if you will. Do you even understand the effects of a nuke? This dude is being dumb, says Berserk. Yeah, we understand the effects of a nuclear weapon. Most nuclear weapons are not powerful enough to destroy a complete city. I mean, we know they're a lot more powerful than Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but that stuff was only a few square miles. I mean, like Chicago has a 26-mile shoreline. I don't believe a nuclear weapon is going to destroy all of that. It may make it all uninhabitable, though. So we can go into the argument. But Iran does not have the capabilities. Think about how big and encompassing America is, the United States is, and how many cities we have. They don't have the capabilities of doing that. That's crazy. Not to mention they got to deal with our responding while they're starting that shit. If you even think they're doing that. We do have the capabilities to destroy Iran. We actually do have that. But yeah, they're definitely not they're not capable of destroying the country. In the comments, as Trump said, they could dig up the nuke dust and build a ballistic missile and launch it unbeknownst to USA intelligence. Here's what I don't get. And I'll go to the box. I don't understand why Trump is saying that he's not going to participate in war games with South Korea because he has a good relationship with North Korea, Kim Jong-un. But we're talking about how irresponsible or state sponsor of terror like Iran is. North Korea is a far more irresponsible nation to its neighbors and the fact that it's nuclear oriented than Iran is. They're firing missiles over our allies' heads. We're just saying what Iran, we don't want them to be capable of doing. North Korea is already doing it now. How do we make friends with North Korea and keep focusing on Iran? That doesn't make sense. North Korea has done shit now. They've threatened America several times. You guys hear all of this? Iran is chanting death to America. North Korea's done that shit many times. How do we end up making friends with North Korea? Can somebody explain that? North Korea would not last a day in a war with America and NATO. We thought that applied to Iran until we attacked them. I'm certain we felt the same way about Iran because Trump said he won the war in the first few hours. So I don't know what North Korea would be capable of doing, but I know Iran has absolutely measured up to be a lot more potent than we were originally taught. Moo, the tuxedo cat, good evening.
What's up, man? Hey, listen, I'm going to do you a favor and I'll let you be a liberal for a minute, okay? Because I'm going to take a quick shot at AIPAC Shakur, all right?
All right.
So, leave it up to the Democrats to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, right? If Hakeem Jeffries doesn't shut up, he's going to lose the election for the Democrats, okay? You can't go on TV at this point and say you don't support Medicare for all, my dude. All right, if you say these, because that should be your number one thing. That should be the main part of your platform, right? So if you're going to pull the rug out from under your voters again, you're going to fucking lose. If you keep coming after Hassan Piker, you're going to fucking lose.
I actually believe the Democrats are kind of confused because they're being flanked by the left. Their left flank is hitting them so hard. The way we view Israel.
When you said the left,
huh?
It's not the left flank. So Democrats are not left. The left is having an issue right now. The centrists are having an issue with the left. The Democrats are not the left. They are liberals. Liberals are centrists.
Okay. What do you view Jeffries as?
He is a centrist piece of garbage. He is an establishment, AIPAC-funded shill.
Okay. Democrats, how about this? We'll meet in the middle. The Democrat establishment is what I'm talking about. You can call them the centrists or whatever, but the traditional Democrats, they're the ones that are having a problem with the new progressives that are left of them. And right now, to me, in my opinion, in my opinion, though, if they want to beat what's on the right, because neither one of them, I think the centrists, as you're calling them, Hakeem Jeffries, would rather see the Hassan Pikers. They would rather see them than another MAGA administration. And I would say that the far left or the further left, the fucking Abdul El, or all of those folks, Zohan Mamdani, they would rather have Hakeem Jeffries than. So they need to team together before they fuck around and both get something they don't.
So there is no both something they don't want. We are not reliant on the Democrat establishment to do what we need to do. Progressives are not reliant.
You're not going to win like that. You're not going to win like that.
Yeah, well, so tell Abdul Saeed. So did Abdul Saeed win? Oliver Larkin's probably going to beat Jared Moskowitz tomorrow. We've already won a bunch of offices locally. I don't know what you're talking about. I can get a list together if you want. I don't have it with me right now, but if you want a list of progressives that are overthrown establishment Democrats during this primary cycle, it's a lot so far.
Well, it depends. I mean, in traditionally blue areas, folks that are winning are further to the left. But in some of these areas that may flip, like down there where you got, what is his name? Tallarico down in
Tennessee.
Well, I mean,
Tennessee just elected a 23-year-old progressive for state commissioner.
Well, we're talking about sitting in Congress. At the sitting in
local politics is what makes this country go home, my dude.
But right now, if you're gonna deal with Trump, you're gonna have to be talking about national politicians. I mean, if the goal is to actually upset MAGA, you got to go for Senate and Congress.
Well, we are. We got Abdul El Saeed, right? We got Flanagan at this point. We have a progressive running in Iowa. And I believe that we have a senator, someone for Senate primary down in Florida. So we have the potential to hold 5 Senate seats if we win general elections after that.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
6.
Okay, and I don't see
that would be 6 with Bernie.
I don't see anything wrong with that. That would push the party somewhat to the left, but you don't want too many of them and make the move too quick because some places in the country are willing to make the leap, others are not.
Well, what's too quick at this point, my dude? The people are suffering tremendous medical debt. Medicare for all is necessary at this point. You need to eliminate the filibuster so that you can actually pass things.
When I say too quick, I mean some of the shit coming out of the DSA. These folks aren't ready to get rid of the fucking Pentagon, Lou.
Bro, you think that that's the primary objective right now of the DSA? The DSA needs to get people health care. The DSA needs to get people housing. The DSA needs to make sure food prices come down. We're not worried about abolishing the fucking Senate right now.
Then just come out and say right now we're focused on the things you just mentioned.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you something. Everybody always says that we're radical, and then 3 years later, everybody's on board with everything we want. We said abolish ICE like several years ago, and everybody told us we were too far left and we were crazy. Now the popular opinion of Democrats and the left is abolish ICE.
I don't think so.
The Green New Deal was a joke back in the day.
I don't think the popular opinion on the left is abolish ICE.
You won't get elected if you are on TV. If you are a Democrat, I got news for you, Democrats. If you're listening, if you are on TV and a reporter says, "Are you willing to abolish ICE?" and you say no, you're probably going to lose.
I don't think so. I think hold on. If I'm running as a Democrat and they ask me, do I want to abolish ICE? I would say, hell no. Immigration still needs an enforcement wing. We just want ICE to operate with checks and balances and responsibility. So we wouldn't mind hang on. We wouldn't mind abolishing the mindset of the current ICE we have, but we do need a LEO, a law enforcement branch in that spot.
If you need a law enforcement in that spot, then it needs to be community-based with elected officials by the community.
ICE?
It needs to be non-government. It needs to be non-government run. It needs to be local people who are elected to take care of things in their community. It can't be run by the government anymore. It needs to be owned by the public because at this point, government has shown that they can't handle the immigration in this country, at least not enforcement of it. They've locked up people in cages. They've starved people. They've set up concentration camps. The government isn't fit to run the immigration enforcement of this country. Even Obama wasn't fit to do it. He put people in cages too. We've been treating immigrants horribly since Bill Clinton made it an illegal thing. It used to be just a civil thing before Bill Clinton invented expedited immigration.
What do you, okay, when you say putting people in cages, if people just run into the country across the Rio Grande and enter the country illegally, what do you think should happen to them?
What do I think should happen to them? I think they should be put in. You ever seen small houses before?
Why are you putting them in a house?
Small houses.
How? Why?
Have you ever seen a small?
Yeah,
I've
seen a tiny. I know what a tiny. I know what a tiny house is.
Put them in a tiny house.
Why? They're here illegally. You're going to give them a house?
You want to continue. See, this is why you're a liberal, because you want to continue setting up these large for-profit facilities that are benefiting off of the pain and misery of these people. There's disease rampant in these facilities. They don't take care of these people. They're not getting proper food. They're in clustered areas spreading all kinds of germs and disease. I mean, what is wrong with you? Why wouldn't you want to put people in housing?
They're here illegally, Moo.
Okay, they're people.
Where else can you go? Wait, hold up. Where else can you go on Earth and enter a country illegally and get put up in a tiny house?
So as soon as it's inconvenient in some way, the
It's
American
wrong.
exceptionalism. Wait, no. So as soon as something is inconvenient or too hard, the American exceptionalism is out the fucking window, right? We're not the great. We have to punish people now. We can't be the greatest country in the world. It's the example that we're the most humane country, that we can treat all people fairly. I'm not saying you need to keep them here, but at least when they show up, treat them like fucking human beings.
Okay, treating them like human beings would be the same way they would treat you or I if you committed a trespassing crime. You would be incarcerated, not put in a tiny house. I mean,
most of these people they're not criminals, my dude. They're running away from persecution. These people are refugees.
I think what you're suggesting.
Dude, so you do realize that people just used to pull up in New York, right? Just used to pull the hell up. Here's your soup. Go have fun, or join the military and you get 3 squares a day. Have a good day.
Yeah, I do know that.
It used to be like that. So anything above that is better. Okay, so that's how it used to be.
So let me ask you the simple question: are you for open borders?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, that's what I heard. I just wanted to get clarity of it. That right there, you're telling me what Hakeem Jeffries is doing is a loser. I think what you just said is a loser. That's what got Biden and Kamala Harris trashed.
So you can definitely think what I just said is a loser. Do you really think in 100 years from now that you're going to just keep on keeping everything separated? You're just going to be able to keep everything separate in the world. It's not so we are shifting to a multipolar world, my dude. Do you understand that America is no longer the #1 country in the world right now? Right now, you're not number one.
I don't think what you're doing is going to make us #1 by just letting anybody come in.
Well, I'll tell you what, right now, your president just handed over your economy to the BRICS. So guess what? You're on a big fucking downfall. So enjoy the capitalism then. It's going so well so far. You're doing great.
Yeah, that part I'm not arguing with. I am willing to have the conversation that people are failing under capitalism.
I mean, I love how we're open to all these new ideas, but everything we've been doing is going so great so far. So let's just keep doing that. Let's have a stagnant economy, a shitty middle class that's slowly dwindling away. We can keep watching the prices go up while we continue this crappy war in Iran. And you can keep doing exactly what you're doing. It's going great. Keep offing people in states every day. Keep offing soccer moms. Keep offing random people walking down the street. It's cool.
And you believe if we have open borders, that wouldn't make that get worse?
No, because you still vet people, right? But you don't have as stringent a system coming back and forth. You would have a visa that would be good across the continent. You would have a visa that would be good across the continent.
these people, a lot of these people are coming from countries that you can't vet them. And some of these, like the folks coming from Haiti. Hold on, hang on. The folks coming here from Haiti. Haiti doesn't even have a government. It's not like you can run a background check on a refugee coming from Haiti. Cuba doesn't even work with us. They're not going to let you. They're not going to tell you anything about any Cuban that comes here. There's no way to run a background check on them.
Okay, so you either interview them when they get here and you give them the chance, or they're going to probably try and get here anyway. They're going to get here anyway. People are going to come here anyway. That's what you don't understand. You're not going to stop people from coming here. You should do the best you can to find out if they're good people or not. And then if you can't find out if you've done the best you can, then you put them through the process of trying to get them a job, setting them up in society, and giving people a goddamn shot in this life. I'm not for punishing people. I'm not this paranoid person. I'm not going to spend my whole life, should I be scared of this brown person? Should I be scared of this person? Let me be scared of this person today. That's not me. If that's you, that's cool.
Hold on. Let me make something clear. And I understand your point about the hate and racism. I don't agree with that. But listen, I'm friends with my neighbor. That don't mean I want him to just be to come to my house anytime he want. I don't hate my neighbor at all. But I still want my door locked. I don't just want them having free reign to my house. I want my own private area.
You have your own private area is not going away. You're going to get influxes of people into this country, regardless of how good a bad or job you do. If you don't start doing a better job, these are the results you get. You get police officers all over your neighborhoods. You get soccer moms falling down left and right.
Who pays for all these tiny houses that these folks are getting?
The taxpayer does. We can eliminate ICE and shift funding, prosecuting and persecuting these people into that, right? You have to simplify the immigration system. You have to take private equities out of the system. You have to take private entities out of the system, and you have to start making a lot of these systems public. And you have to start putting communities in charge of these things instead of the government, because people should be in charge of their own neighborhoods and who comes in and out of them, not the government.
Here's the crazy thing. You're like the opposite, because normally I get MAG on here and I say I want to hear, I got to get somebody else to say. I got to get a liberal on to follow you, because I got to find out how many other liberals have the same what you're saying. This is pretty far left, Moo. This is pretty far left.
Yeah. Well, dude, so think about this, right? Had we had reciprocity with the countries in the South Pacific, instead of moving all of our jobs to China, instead of kidnapping the president of Venezuela, we actually built infrastructure over a decade or so in Venezuela, and we actually did get the oil. And instead of just taking it from them, we had a deal where we had reciprocity between each other. And we did that with Colombia, and we did that with all the Southern Pacific nations, instead of graping them throughout history.
So
maybe we'd be a little better off.
So this woman that's been all over the news that was part of the DSA, you actually do agree with everything she said then, right? Even though you're focusing on healthcare stuff that's more important now, you do agree with all the things she said, right?
Do I agree with abolishing the Senate eventually?
Pentagon, all of that
like
shit.
That?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Pentagon hasn't passed an audit in how long now?
It's been a while.
So NORAD just came out. So did you hear that NORAD just came out today and said that you said Iran can't attack us, can't destroy us. Well, how do you figure that when NORAD already said today that they can't defend us against a drone attack from the inside? What if Iran sent a bunch of people over here with drones, just in backpacks, like a couple hundred drones, and just let them go?
Yeah, according to you, they would all be in tiny houses making their drones, because we would just let them in. We would under Trump, them people wouldn't get in the country.
I said that we vet people, right? I said
how?
That we still vet people.
How are you going to vet somebody coming from Iran? How are you going to vet them?
So again, you give the community the same resources that you have to look at people's backgrounds and make determinations, right? You don't need to give these resources to the government, right? These resources can be distributed to leaders within the communities who know what they're doing. People who specialize in these type of areas, they're all over the country. You don't need to always have government doing everything for you. You can make things public. You can put it hands in the people. Communities can actually do things on their own. That would be socialism.
So we're gonna put in your hands the ability to vet these immigrants. We're gonna let Go ahead.
So if I get elected by the community, yeah, what's the difference between that and electing public officials? Except I'm spreading the power out more, and I'm spreading it out locally, and I'm actually putting the hands of the production of the institution into the community instead of into the government.
The difference is you're already on record saying you're for open borders. So we already know that you're going to be basically siding with letting people stay and being lenient to them.
Yeah, that's right. Because human beings are human beings, and they all deserve to be treated that way.
All right. Wow. You went further left than the last time we talked. I got to move it on. Enlightening conversation. This is a different mood than I remember.
You have a good one, my dude.
You too. Always. Appreciate it. So what do you guys think? You think move for president? I see in the comments, Dark says move for president. That's true. I don't know. Open borders. I don't think 2026 America's ready for that. I understand some folks on the left, further left than Hakeem Jeffries, as he brought up. I understand that crowd is growing. The Bernie Sanders, AOC, Elizabeth Warren, Abdul Elma, fucking Zohan Mamdani. I understand that crowd's growing, but I don't think that crowd's big enough yet for what he's talking about. Maybe I'm wrong. That took me off guard. I normally hear some things that shock me the most come from the right. That's the first time I've had a guest on the left shock me that much. So maybe I'm just out of touch. Maybe I'm out of touch, to quote Daryl Hall and John Oates. Out of touch. Tap the screen. Help your boy out with the hat, mustache, TikTok cap goes. I think a couple hundred more people talking like him will ensure the red wave. Conservative. I think if it is the right 100, you are correct. If you start having Senate and congressional candidates for office saying that stuff, yeah. Because I got folks in the comments now that I know that lean left are like, this is too extreme for me. I saw some of my viewers that lean left saying that what he was saying was too extreme. So, yeah, if you start having too many folks running for like this woman on my screen, the head of the DSA, she's not a politician. Even still, they're using her words to ram it up the Democrats' party, but she's not a part. But if you actually start having actual Democrat politicians quoting what she is saying or speaking like my last guest, yeah, it could become an issue. Fortunately, we only got 3 months left. Let's get this election started. Tap the screen in the comments. Just don't employ your son-in-law instead of experience you might actually stop a war you started. Because the United States allows Israelis dual citizens into our politics, which they can use the lobbyists to sway votes. Yeah, I think that is one area where folks like my last guest, I'm agreeing with him. We do need to reduce the amount of influence Israel has in our politics. That absolutely needs to happen. We absolutely do. And that's coming from folks who have politics like my last guest. They're really against AIPAC. And the far right, by the way, the far right is against this AIPAC money and stuff too. That absolutely is one area where I do agree with the Zohan Mamdanis and things like that. We got Lindsey Graham. I played the video of the late Lindsey Graham talking about him and Ted Cruz, that the Bible commands us to defend Israel and all of that shit. That needs to stop because they're dragging us into wars and conflicts now. That does need to stop. But we'll see what ends up happening. Tap the screen in the comments. The great old 1950 scare tactic of socialism and communism. You all got something new. I don't disagree that there's a lot of scare tactic in it. I don't disagree with that at all. And I've said this before, that the scare tactic of, first it was socialism. Now they've jumped up to communism, even though nobody's talking about communism. They're just saying communism. But I have said that talking about, they tried it on Obama first, saying he was socialist and he was going to turn us into socialist Greece. It has worked a lot in preventing left-wing candidates from winning office. But now we have an open socialist governing America's largest city, that being Zohar Mamdani of New York. So I've been saying now that the Republicans have into 2028. If the city of New York, if the predictions they made that's electing a socialist, if that shit ain't happening by 2028, you're going to have a whole lot of socialist candidates popping up. Socialism will be cool. You will have far more people speaking like my last guest. The Republicans said if you elect a socialist, they are going to destroy everything. That better happen, clearly happening by 2028. Otherwise, what the Republicans are saying will have been proven false. It can't be a case of, well, you got to wait a couple more years. It's coming. See, no. If it's not, if New York isn't falling apart, but if everybody's not moving out of New York, all the jobs and corporations are leaving, the tax structure is at 80%. This is what the Republicans predicted. If that shit is not happening, socialism will be cool by 2028. In the comments, hey, why are you shouting, bro? Because we have to talk to the people. The estimate covers about 10.9 million undocumented immigrants and comes from the Institute of Taxation. I don't think people want immigrants to come in the country open border style. I don't think there's enough people that want that yet. My last guest favored it though. Stick the ruler. Good evening. Welcome to the show. Navi says, Tim, you said New York City to fail. No, I'm saying the Republican prediction that it is going to fail. Either that happens or socialism will have been proven to be something that absolutely could work. They said a socialist mayor would destroy our largest city in this country. If it hasn't happened by 2028, then that means the Republicans are wrong. Stick, good evening.
Hey, what's going on, Tim? How you doing?
I don't know. Folks ain't loving me today. No. You heard my last guess?
Yeah.
Now you're you're definitely not MAGA. You're no Republican. You're lean left. How do you feel about that?
I just think he's stressing it a little bit. However,
a little bit.
I don't see it not being. Yeah. It's a little. I mean, we already can't get along on simple issues. You know, letting people go to the restroom and shit like that. So at the end of the day, I just think the things that, especially when it comes down to immigration, he went too far somewhere. I don't know if it's left or right, but he went.
He didn't go right at all. Ain't nothing right about everything he's thinking about leans left. Ain't the right wing bone in his body. His car don't even turn right.
Actually, it don't. Actually, it does not.
Tell me.
You could say it's a far left ideology, but most Democrats don't think like that. You don't think like that. You're a liberal. Most
hold on a second.
Liberals are Democrats.
Well,
so at the end of the day, you don't think like that.
No, but I'm gonna. Me and him with his further left views, we're gonna agree on more than we disagree on. Like stronger taxation on wealthy folks, universal health care. I'm gonna agree. A minimum wage increase. These are things that right things are things that will destroy the country. Even this is stuff that Hakeem Jeffries or someone like myself would agree with him on. So we're going to agree on probably more than we disagree on.
So
Thank
you
you,
agree,
Blue
so you agree with a small house? You agree with a small house?
No.
So again,
I don't agree with everything.
Bullshit, man. Come on, man. They won't give people in the Marcy projects no small house. They won't give people in the Carter Homes projects in Louisville no house. They won't give people down here in Tampa that used to live in Robles Park and Cross Fletcher and anywhere else that's kind of ran down or being gentrified. So at the end of the day, that's far-fetched, man. And anybody that's privileged probably thinks like that. Oh, you should give them a house. Well, goddamn it, take care of the ones you already got first.
And by the way, Blue One Banks, I want to thank you for personally saving today's show. Thank you, Blue One Banks, for the hat mustache, and C. Osby as well. The tiny house took me off guard when he said, if somebody runs in this country across the Rio Grande and you catch them coming in the country illegally, put them up in the tiny house. I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that.
And you shouldn't have. As a liberal, as a Democrat, you should not expect that because that's not the average. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you heard what he said. There are progressives winning. He named off. There's a half dozen places where they're starting to win, and they are like the woman up in Wisconsin that just lost to Crowley, the African American in Wisconsin. She only lost by just a slight amount. Francesca Hong was her name. She was talking that shit, and she almost became governor of Wisconsin.
I get it. Almost ain't winning. So again, everybody don't think like that on the left. We just don't. If we use our common sense. Social Security, that's common sense. Police department, that's common sense. An ambulance service, a fire department, that's common sense. A operator that you can call for those services, that's a civil service, that's social services. Those are common sense ideas. Those are things that actually work when used properly. So I'm not gonna sign up to that. I'm not gonna
What percentage of Democrat? Okay, so what percentage of Democrat among voters that are voting that are likely to vote Democrat this election? What percentage do you believe have the same mindset of my last caller?
The same mindset that MAGA has in the Republican Party, about 34%.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
I'm just saying. I'm just being honest. I'm being honest because just as well as you got the far right. To me, all MAGA is the far right. To me, I don't give a damn what you say. Once Trump opened his mouth and you shake your head up and down like, yeah, you agree with that shit, your ass is far right. I don't give a fuck who you are.
I get your point.
MAGA, make America great again and back him no matter what. Y'all motherfuckers are far right. So the far left, I'm going to just say it's even. It's just as many of them in the Democratic Party as it is in the Republican Party.
Well, then you would, based on your own mindset, I'm sure you believe that MAGA has caused great amount of damage to the Republican Party, that 30%. So would it be safe to assume that this 30% of far left folks may cause great damage to the Democrat Party?
No, and the reason I'm saying no is because maybe I don't even know how you put these two together. But I would just say the older Democrat or the established or the traditional Democrat, maybe so. However, when it's a Democrat that does it, regardless of whether they're progressive, whether they're conservative, because you got them too, it don't matter what it is. Once it's got the D on it and it works, that it doesn't matter.
I've used that. I've used that sentence with a lot of women in the past. Once it's got the D, but let me just say it like this.
Yeah. Once it's got the D on it, you know what time it is.
But what about folks who are on the fence? What about folks that are on the fence? I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican, and I'm debating. And I'm looking at a choice of voting for far right MAGA or far left socialists. Where do the people on the fence go?
The people on the fence are going to go where it's good. And just so happens, it's the same thing that happened with Barack Obama, the same thing that happened with Bill and anybody else that was a Democrat that had good policies. I would just say at this point, we always blame the man, but he's known as the kindest president, Jimmy Carter. Like at the end of the day, he was handed a shit ass economy. And he did what he had to do, to try to do, or whatever the case may be. But they gave the motherfucker who actually put us in debt all the glory with the trickle-down economics and Reagan, the Reaganomics. And all he did was give you the pennies, the shit, the scraps off the table. And y'all, it's a handout. But y'all don't mind handouts like that. I don't know.
I just, because we're not even talking about what today's topic was, because my last caller shock the system so much. I listen, I know I got a number of respect for Moon. Me and him have had lives for quite a while, and what he is talking about is growing in the Democrat Party, even to the point where you're saying 30%. I actually believe that is toxic for the Democrat Party, what he was talking, especially giving houses to immigrants when motherfuckers can barely afford to stay in a hotel themselves. Houses?
So hold on. You are the person that sit up here and tell everybody, whether you playing devil's advocate or not, that you believe Donald Trump when he said he was going to cut prices. When you believe he promised a lot of good shit.
He did.
Remember that
he
shit?
Did. Yes,
Remember
he did.
You said that he
yes,
promised a lot of good shit, and that's why people voted for him, even though he lied about every goddamn thing, because he promised
but Trump promised good shit that everybody wanted, not... Everybody don't want to give immigrants houses. That ain't good shit for us. That's good shit for people trying to come in the country. That ain't good. What the socialists are promising is not, that ain't good shit for us.
So guess what? The white folks already got out. Listen, I'm over here by way of Scotland. I'm an immigrant. My people, and now they immigrants. Now they want to, it's just like they came over here and they became $5 Indians. Any way to get over, they're going to look. But matter of fact, you'll probably have the same people who were supposed to get that $1.8 billion from Trump for being loyalists and doing January 6th. Them same people are going to be claiming they immigrants. If that falls through, they're going to find a way to say, I got some type of heritage from Europe. And then all that American shit going to be out the door because now immigrants are getting houses. They'll flip it. They'll figure out a way to get their shit first.
Well, Trump believes, the Trump side of y'all believes a replace theory. So yeah, they may start favoring some immigrants over others, but I don't know. I just let's get back into the actual topic. Trump threatening to bomb the nation of Oman. Have you heard this?
Nah. You got it on
yes, and I think I want to, because maybe some of the folks that have tuned in.
Let me hear this stupid ass shit he got to say.
I mean,
get out the way.
It's President Trump, so maybe it's stupid, maybe it's intelligent. I'll leave it up to you to come to your conclusion if I can get my device to act right here. But this happened earlier today. President Trump. Now, before I bring this up, I'm gonna give you the preface of it. Oman is the back chop. How we're obviously at war with Iran, and we need to negotiate to end this shit. So how Washington speaks to Tehran, Oman is the broker in the middle. They're like the Switzerland of World War II. So that's how, because obviously the two nations can't speak to each other directly with Trump threatening to kill everybody. So Oman is the neutral party for both nations. Here is CNN giving you what happened earlier.
Closes in the war with Iran. Today marks the end of the Memorandum of Understanding, as it's called, and its 60-day deadline for peace talks between the U.S. and Iran. This morning, there are no plans in sight to end the war, and while it's not clear what happens next, President Trump is lashing out. And one very unlikely target is Oman, a key U.S. ally in the Middle East, and a broker in trying to seek a deal with Iran to try to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. This morning, the president tells Fox News, and I'm quoting the president right now, listen to this: if Oman gets in the way, we'll bomb the shit out of them. Those are the president's words. He also downplays the urgency of a deal as war-weary Americans deal with high gas and oil prices. And his quote, once again, I have no time schedule. I'm not in a hurry, end quote.
So he's talking about bombing the shit out of the mediator. Now, apparently, or allegedly, because I'm not for certain this, but this is what I've heard on several news channels, is that there may be rumors that Iran and Oman are working together to somehow control the Strait of Hormuz and axe America out of the picture, leading Trump to say, well, if they interfere, we're going to bomb the shit out of them. I don't know if that's why he said it, but that's been the speculation.
So let me get this straight. They were, well, at least whoever that was speaking said that they were allies, right?
Yeah.
So in other words, at one point we trusted them to say, hey, look, we already know that they know that we'll try to unalive them. So look, we'll let you speak for us. You know, this is what we want. This is our demands, on and such and such. So they come back and tell them or us, Iran's not negotiating or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
You think it's smart to get out there and tell the people who you were talking to, in the sense of pretty much probably what you were going to do if they said no? You want to tell those people you're going to ex-nay them to? Like,
I didn't say it was smart, Steve. I didn't say it was smart. I just give your opinion on it.
I told you it was the dumb shit. But before you even played, I said, man, let me hear this dumbass shit he finna say. That's why he's not a commander in chief. That's why he's a dumbass. He's Peter Griffin.
He's not dumb.
President.
You don't become leader of the free world by being a dumbass.
Yes, you do. George Bush did it. Junior did it. Like, yeah, you can do it.
These are some of the most people that was These are some of the wealthiest, most successful men on the planet. They're not dumbasses. You may not agree with their decisions, but Trump is not a dumbass. To that level of success by being a dumbass.
No, you get to that level of success by you already having money. Man, let's not do that. Trump, dumb. Bush, little Bush, at least, dumb. Daddy worked for the CIA. Oil money. Daddy was part of the war machine. Daddy was what Daddy Bush did. He owned baseball teams and shit like that. You know, the Rangers and shit.
Well, in my comments, in the comments, Robert Kennedy says he's your president, you leftist hack.
And Robert Kennedy, your great granddaddy was a goddamn whiskey baron. And had the other little sons that all of them got picked off. I'm surprised you ain't gone.
Oh my God.
So at the end of the day, anybody with can kiss my ass, because you know the mob told y'all what it is. You know, I'm just in it like that. Okay. You know what I mean? All right. The mob got.
So why do you
except for this stuttering ass one that sounded like a robot? Yeah, I wouldn't take.
Oh my Lord! Oh my Lord! So why do you think he would? I mean, look, in Trump analysis, why would he threaten? Because we don't have a lot of folks that are in common with Iran. So if Oman is one of the countries that both sides see as neutral, if you get Oman out of the picture, how else do we talk to Tehran? We don't have a lot of other folks that we and them talk to simultaneously. So,
man, it's okay. So if you ever watch anything, like we can go with even the cartoons. When you got the boss could be a little short ass midget, but because he got so much moxie, he can slap around the big dumb dude, right? So at the end of the day, he's using the moxie because Trump don't have any moxie. He understands that our military is one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world. So at the end of the day, his moxie is our military, nothing else. So that's his go-to. He's using it as a tool. He's using violence as a tool to try to bend the wheel to get what he wants. Point blank, period.
It's helped him out.
And for that,
yeah, it's helped him out.
No, it hasn't. It's depleted our goddamn stock. That's what it's done.
Well, hold on, hang on.
Asking for the biggest.
According to President Trump, our stockpile has been greatly reduced, not because of what he put it squarely at the foot of former President Biden, saying he gave Ukraine too much shit. That's what he said today. He put it on Biden.
Yo, see.
That's what he said.
I shouldn't be laughing at this. Yo, I should not be laughing at this shit. But that's classic Trump. Blame it on somebody else that didn't push the damn button, that didn't tell nobody that go over there and boom, boom, nobody. All of it is Biden's motherfucking fault. However, this motherfucker done hit 1,200 targets in one day. You see what I'm saying? That's what they saying, right?
That's a good point. That's a good point. He hit 1,200 targets in one day. That is a good point.
Right. That's what they reported.
Oh God, that is a great point. That's a great point.
So we got 1,200 less tomahawks because y'all want to go over there and be on an excursion. Y'all got the piss and shit running out the toilets on the USS Lincoln. Then you got motherfuckers. They sending slowly. They're putting videos out there, whether it be through TikTok, Instagram, and shit like that. So we know the conditions now. We know that they've been out there too long, and this motherfucker got the nerve to, well, they ain't been out there long enough.
You just heard him on the clip I played. You just heard him say on the clip I played. He said, "I'm in no hurry. We got plenty of time."
Okay, so since you got plenty of time, they can change the landing strip on what the heli strip or something like that. They can give you a little putting range. They can make where you control the helm of the ship. They can make that, the president's office. They can do all of that. And you can take your ass over there and you can sit out there as long as they over there. And then let's see what you say.
Well,
yeah, we can even put you in the admiral's room and let you stay out there as long as they gotta be out there. And let's see what your bitch ass say. Yeah, no McDonald's, no none of that shit. No Pizza Hut.
He's the president. Think that ain't gonna happen. They'll fly it into one of those. What was it? He hid in the food truck. They can fly one of them over there.
I hope that shit's cold, stale, moldy, and all that shit. I hope it got flies and goddamn maggots in it.
You know this is a no Trump derangement syndrome zone, right?
Oh no, I don't have Trump derangement syndrome. And TDS don't stand for Trump derangement syndrome. It's actually for MAGA. It stands for trans derangement syndrome. Oh. Because every time we talking about something, these motherfuckers out of nowhere just bring up trans. You don't know what a woman is and shit like that.
I should have asked Moo his opinion on trans because he was so far left. I would have been interested to hear what he says. But I gotta move it on, Stick. You guys are tough on Trump. You guys are putting me to work already. He's tough
on him. Listen, I told you that shit was gonna be stupid before I heard it. He's tough on himself. It's not me. These are the sound bites that he's giving us.
Yeah.
This is the foolery of him. It has nothing to do with me. I just know how to look at it and perceive it, and I see that it's stupid.
Well. And I gotta move it on for you, but I got another one I'm gonna play in between you and the next caller because this ain't the only controversial thing you said in the last 24 hours. But Stick, I know.
All right, Tim.
Thank you.
I'm a holler, man.
Appreciate it. And what I want to play, as some of you folks have came in since we went through the monologue. Here goes.
A live look at the White House, 7:15 in the nation's capital. We're getting breaking news from President Trump. He's ordering the Pentagon to scale back planned joint military exercises with South Korea. He says South Korea declined to help denuclearize Iran. He's also citing his good relationship with North Korea's Kim Jong-un.
I want you to hear this is what he posted. This has got to be at least 2 or 3 paragraphs. His grammar is, man, like, can somebody space this shit out? Like, I mean, this is the president of the United States posting this, but I want you to hear what he posted.
This statement on Truth Social: based on my very good relationship with Kim Jong-un of North Korea, I am not happy with the fact that the United States has long ago agreed to participate in joint military exercises with South Korea. These exercises are not only costly, with much of these costs paid for by the United States of America as usual, but send a signal that is totally inappropriate and hostile to a country that, as long as Donald J. Trump has been president, has been unthreatening and respectful. Therefore, and based on the fact that it is too late to cancel, I have instructed Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to substantially reduce the joint military exercises. While somewhat unrelated, I recently asked the president of South Korea if they would like to join us in the denuclearization of the Islamic Republic of Iran, and they said, quote, "No thanks. Thank you for your attention to this matter." President signs off there at the bottom. Okay, so let's talk.
So what he is doing is no longer having joint military exercise, or he's reducing it, but you hear him say that he would have gotten rid of it completely, but he says based on the fact that it's too late to cancel. Therefore, I've instructed Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to substantially reduce the joint military exercises. So really, he was telling South Korea, if it wasn't as close to it, the time period as it is, I would have canceled this with you guys all together. Now, he gives two reasons. One being, he says, based on my very good relationship with Kim Jong-un of North Korea. So he's saying joint military exercises with South Korea would send a signal that is totally inappropriate and hostile to a country that, as long as Donald J. Trump has been president, has been unthreatening and respectful. So he's speaking favorably of the North Koreans, and he's criticizing the South Koreans. I don't know. Since when did we invoke in a good relationship with North Korea? Since when did that happen? Other than Trump going over there and meeting Kim Jong-un, those two may have a good relationship with each other, but the people of America versus the people of North Korea do not have a good relationship or any history, therefore, of one. And then, of course, he ends it by saying, here's where I believe you get the meat and potatoes of why we're doing this. He states at the end, while somewhat unrelated, and I don't believe that's accurate, I don't believe that's true, but he says, while somewhat unrelated, I recently asked the president of South Korea if they would like to join us in the denuclearization of North Korea, and they turned him down. So what he is basically admitting, even though he's kind of lying about saying unrelated, it's absolutely related. That's why it's in the same post. You guys did not help us out when we asked you for help with Iran. So we're not going to help you out if you need it with North Korea. This is revenge. This is what this is they didn't help us out. And as I brought up earlier in the live stream, NATO member nations, which South Korea is not a NATO member nation. They're an ally, but they're not a NATO member nation. But NATO member nations also turned down Trump's request to help out with Iran. So NATO member nations need to take note. If he is now targeting folks for revenge, because we got a lot of U.S. troops in South Korea. We got our own people in South Korea, and he's doing them like that. So NATO member nations need to take note that this guy has shown he's pissed off that people didn't help with Iran and may take revenge on him. So any NATO member nation needs to, at the very least, consider that if something breaks out, the United States may not have your back. Article 5, an attack on one is an attack on all. Trump wanted Article 5-like response when he attacked Iran. Now, that's supposed to be when somebody attacks a NATO member nation, everybody jumps in to defend them. It doesn't supposed to mean we follow one of our nations in the battle on an offensive attack and join them. Trump is saying that we should have jumped in, all these nations should have jumped in and helped him defeat Iran. So he is holding South Korea to some level of revenge with that. NATO member nations need to take note about that. Anyway, looking in the comments, and that to me is probably even more controversial than him threatening Oman. Because that really is a threat to all of our allies that he asked, because he asked them all to help with Iran, and they all pretty much said no. So all of them now need to take note of that. That's probably worse in my opinion. In the comments, if Donald Trump wants people to help him, he has to help them. But he don't have nobody then not helping him. And right now with the war in the Middle East, nobody's getting help. I believe it's mainly because most of our NATO member allies don't think that war was necessary. They believe what Trump did was wrong. Just like Bush had to come up with a coalition of the willing with Iraq. But because in that war, most of our allies felt we were wrong on that. He had to forgive debts and do all kinds of behind-the-scenes shit to get folks to help us out in Iraq because they didn't think we had a legitimate case in that either. Tap the screen, get the lights on up, get your boy up to 55,000 if you will. MAGA Reacts. Good evening.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much at all. What do you think? Punishing South Korea for not participating in the invasion of Iran? What say you?
Wait, how's he punishing them?
He clearly stated we're no longer he wanted to cancel the war games with them because he is supposedly friends with Kim Jong-un of North Korea. Do you see that? Do you see it that way, that we're now on good terms with North Korea?
I mean, we're really not on good or bad terms. They're better than they were before.
His statement says,
the way I see it, and we know for a fact that every time we have these war games, it upsets North Korea. So why upset them? So
what are we doing? Backing down to appease North Korea?
No, we're not really backing down. We're just not upsetting them. Why go out of our way to upset them and use up ammunition and shit on war games and use up fuel and time on war games when we have an actual conflict in Iran that we need to be concentrating on?
Here's what I don't understand. When we went to war with Iran, there were 3 issues. Regime change, because it was an evil regime that sponsors terrorism. Obviously, they can't have a nuclear bomb. And the other reason was they were killing protesters in their own country, threatening freedom and all that, and we wanted to stop it. North Korea does all of that. How can you have a good relationship with a country that does?
I don't know.
They do all of that.
Terrorism.
What?
What terrorists do they fund?
They fired missiles over Japan and shit?
We know Iran funds Hamas and all their...
North Korea does it on their own. By the way, North Korea also sent troops to help Russia with Ukraine. There are reports that they're helping Iran.
War. That's not terrorism.
What?
That's war. I don't know how are they helping Iran?
By giving them weapons and intelligence.
North Korea is giving them weapons.
North Korea, China, and Russia have reportedly helped Iran some way or another.
Okay.
What about firing missiles?
So. I don't have no proof of any of this.
Okay.
As far as I know, they haven't done anything, and they've been very quiet, and they're not shooting rockets every other day like they used to.
We're going to bring up Iran killing protesters. The people of Iran have significantly more freedoms than the people of North Korea. If we're all about democracy and freedom, how the hell do we have a good relationship with North Korea?
Because they're only hurting themselves. I mean, it's the socialism that's really killing the people more than anything. The shit that you want to bring over here.
So if they're only hurting themselves, why did we say anything about the Ayatollah killing protests in Iran? They're only hurting themselves.
Well, I think the main difference is in Iran, they're religious zealots, and that's scary. Because, these people don't care about dying.
Getting killed is getting... MAGA, getting killed is getting killed. I don't care if you killed me over a pork chop or the God I believe in. Getting killed is getting killed. Religion, what does that got to do with it?
Religious... I mean, Iran has been reasonable, so I don't want to hold this too much over them. But I think that's the main difference that makes Iran a lot worse. Because they're the head of their government, they don't keep church and state separate. Their religion is basically controlling their state. They're controlling their government.
So you believe Iran is worse than
the head of the government is the head of the I want to say church, but the head of the government is basically the head of the religion.
I don't know how religion is taking precedent over everything else. In the comments, though, Critical says what part... Hold on, hang on a second. Hold on. In the comments, Critical says what part of Death to America... What part of Death to America are you refusing to understand? Critical, you haven't heard when North Korea threatened to blow up Maui. North Korea has been threatening death to America for decades. They've been saying the same shit.
They don't believe it religiously. It's not part of their religion. It's not their God telling them to do it. There's a difference when a regular fucking idiot politician says it versus your God. God tells you to hate America.
So it's okay as long as it ain't a God doing it.
Stupid. You want to bring up Michael to tell me how I'm wrong, and how right.
I don't need Mike in this case. What you're saying is crazy, but Mike, good evening.
What do you mean? Religion has led to the Crusades. They've led to so many crazy things, and you're like, oh no way. The religious makes these people more dangerous.
Well, you're essentially saying the same act gets lesser play if it's not religiously involved. If you're threatening to kill me, I don't care if you're religious or not. You're threatening to kill me. I mean, just because there's not a God behind it doesn't make me downplay it. That's what you're trying to say.
It's hard to convince you.
Yes, very.
It's hard to convince you that I'm your friend when you think God told you to kill me. I mean, if you have two people, one of them has a message from God, his religion's telling you to kill him, to kill you, versus these regular people, they just don't think it's good for you. You know what I mean? Like, one is
no, I don't.
God telling them to fucking kill you and hate you. The other one is just them thinking you're enemies.
And like in the comments, one of my viewers says Kim Jong-un is a god to his people. How is that not religious?
I don't think they're even religious over there. I don't even know what religion they have. I mean, it's a lot easier to believe that this man is not a real god versus, an entire very stable religion.
Mike.
I mean, you try to convince them both. You grab a North Korean and a person from Iran and see which one likes you.
Mike.
Hey, Tim. Hey, Tim. Guess who? I'm not talking back here. Hey, Tim. Guess who? So, guess who redesignated North Korea as a sponsor of terrorism? Just Tim. Just guess. Just guess.
You're not talking. Trump did that as well.
Was it Trump?
This motherfucker. In 2018, Donald Trump. First of all, in 2008, right before office, Bush designated them not a T group anymore, right?
Okay.
Because they were trying to broker a deal. In 2018. Just take a wild fucking guess.
Trump.
Okay, and you probably want to put sanctions on them.
Up here. You came up here acting like they have been sponsors of T. Do you remember when his brother got
name them? I can name all the ones Iran.
MAGA reacts. Do you remember when all the Iran brother was unalive? Do you remember when Kim Jong-un's brother was unalive? Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
And then right after that, somebody redesignated them.
Hang on, hold on. Okay, hold on. I want to hear this because I didn't know that. I do want to hear this clip I got.
Happened years ago.
Tonight, President Trump trying to further isolate North Korea during a meeting with his cabinet. The president designating the country a state sponsor of terror, which will mean stiffer sanctions. Mr. Trump citing the death of American Otto Warmbier. And
in addition to threatening the world by nuclear devastation, North Korea has repeatedly supported acts of international terrorism, including assassinations on foreign soil.
The move.
Mike, I want to hear from you. What say you?
Are you talking to me or Michael?
I want to hear from you.
Just because he's laughing, that makes him the winner.
I just want to hear from you. You
designated Michael the winner. He's laughing.
I want to hear from you. What is your opinion?
We know Iran sponsored October.
We're not talking about Iran. We're talking about North Korea.
Basically paying. I mean, the same thing. They killed the guy's brother. I don't even know if you consider that terrorism because that's more. I don't know. I don't see how that compares to fucking paying for October 7th and paying for all the terrorists in the region.
Tim, play it again.
Oh
he didn't listen to anything. Michael and Tim, listen to what you play.
Who are the terrorists? Give me one fucking terrorist that they fucking sponsored.
Listen to your guide.
Long time ago, should have happened years ago.
Tonight, President Trump trying to further isolate North Korea during a meeting with his cabinet. The president designating the country a state sponsor of terror, which will mean stiffer sanctions. Mr. Trump citing the death of American Otto Warmbier. And
in addition to threatening the world by nuclear devastation, North Korea has repeatedly supported acts of international terrorism, including assassinations on foreign soil.
The move is a reversal of a George W. Bush policy, which lifted the terror designation to foster diplomatic talks over its nuclear program. That effort failed. So will this attempt work, or is it purely a symbolic move?
Practical effects may be limited, but we hopefully work.
Here, Tillerson, but I mean, that's crazy that now he's telling South Korea we have a great relationship when you just sponsored them as a terrorist outfit.
Yeah, that's because this was all before they met and before they started talking. Because even South Korea was talking with them.
It wasn't MAGA. Sometimes just stop talking. You're wrong.
All right, how about this? Google it. I bet you're wrong about this. Google when what's his name met with Kim Jong-un.
Jesus Christ.
Alexa, when did President Trump meet Kim Jong-un of North Korea?
President Trump met Kim Jong-un 3 times. The first Singapore summit on June 12, 2018, the Hanoi summit on February 27-28, 2019, and the DMZ meeting at Panmunjom on June 30th, 2019. Want to learn about what was discussed?
Alexa, stop. I don't.
And he already designated them a T group before he met with them. MAGA reacts.
But what MAGA is saying, is, yeah, he is saying that somehow that one meeting healed it or something.
Did he declassify them as a T group? MAGA reacts.
That's a great question.
I don't know what they're classified. How about we Google it? What are they classified as now?
Yeah.
I would like to Google what came out of the meeting.
I don't get, like, this is what you do. You bring up these bullshit facts that don't really affect the argument.
Facts.
And just because they're true doesn't mean you won this argument. I've given you 3 or 4 examples of actual T groups. You haven't named one T group that they sponsor, buddy. Name me one.
They are the T. They are the fucking T group. I don't need to sponsor anybody. They're doing it themselves.
Sponsoring yourself is when you fucking pay yourself is not sponsoring fucking, anything.
You're making it sound like sponsoring Hamas and Hezbollah.
I'm just asking for one T group that they
are doing it themselves. They are the T group.
Count, Tim.
They're sponsoring themselves.
That doesn't count. That's some bullshit right there. That's the usual bullshit.
So it only counts when you sponsor someone else.
If they're the terrorists, name the acts of terrorism.
That would be like
them killing the guy's brother and some guy that visited North Korea fucking dying from malnourishment.
The worst
terrorism, arresting someone in fucking their own country.
The worst terrorist in U.S. history is probably Bin Laden, and I don't know who he sponsored. He did it himself. I don't get what he is the guy.
Fucking Iranians and Saudis fucking sponsored his ass.
I don't know why you're focusing on sponsorship. What you should be focusing on is who is committing the terror. Who is committing the terror should be the point, not who's sponsoring it. Terror is terror. It doesn't matter where it's coming from. That makes no sense.
Buddy, you're the one that brought up the fucking argument. In fact, then fuck it. Then being a sponsor of terrorism is bullshit fucking thing. So they could put sanctions on them.
You're just wrong.
No, you're bad on this one. You bring up some random fact that has nothing to do with the argument.
Donald Trump. Just
he also called him Rocket Man. What the fuck do you want?
Again, listen.
That's what he wants.
Okay, maybe that's the problem. You don't think things change over time. Just because something happened in 2018 doesn't make it still true in 2026. It's not 2018 anymore.
Then why are they still on the list then if it hasn't changed?
Are they? We haven't looked that up.
He's showing you now.
Hold on. You see it right here?
He is showing you right now.
See this right here? You see that right there? What did I say? U.S. Department said, wow, this is the website. Let me scroll.
Okay,
what do you want me to stop? Tell me when you would like me to stop.
I'll even ask
you. How about you read it because I can't.
Alexa,
what does it say?
Is North Korea still designated a state sponsor of terror?
Yes.
Yes, North Korea remains on the U.S. state sponsors of terrorism list as of 2026.
Okay.
Anything else?
Well, what is your point?
You argue.
Yes, you made that fact.
It's like you're trying to struggle to get out of quicksand.
I never said they weren't, but why does that fact support your argument?
No, actually, you did say they weren't.
Why does that fact support your argument?
Because you said they weren't.
No, I just asked if they were.
I
just said name the fucking terrorists they support. Is there actually a state sponsor of terror? Name the terrorists.
And Denkel says
terrorists like 10 fucking times. How many times do you want me to say it?
Denkel says
terrorist group one T group they support.
North Korea's rogue strategic pipeline is arming Iran's war effort. So North Korea is helping Iran, which is kind of what we're talking about. But I don't know why you're focusing on who's being sponsored. To me, the focus should be on who is committing acts of terror against the United States. Either you're sponsoring or you're doing it yourself. They're equally as bad.
You barely even told me acts of terrorists they committed against the United States.
Trump just told you. Trump just gave you a whole bunch of them. They assassinated a fucking American.
Acts of terror. How are those acts of terror?
They killed someone.
Was captured in North. That was their own brother. The president's brother. It was the president's brother and some guy that visited North Korea.
So Trump doesn't know what terrorism is then?
And died of malnutrition in their jail.
So why did Trump put them on the terror watch list then if they didn't do anything wrong?
Because he wants to put sanctions on them. Because at the time, he wasn't friendly with them. But we're not friendly enough to get them off the T list. Because we want to keep those sanctions on them.
So we're negotiating with terrorists now.
They haven't earned a better position, but they're not friendly and they're not like.
I think you just undid everything Muda Tuxedo Cat did for the left. I think you just did everything on the other.
You guys just don't understand fucking English or something. I don't know. Like,
we understand English.
They haven't done anything to make them more our friend, but they haven't done anything to deserve to be more of our enemy.
They literally have sold
they're where they're at.
Hold on, the MAGA reacts. They literally sold weapons to these same T groups you're talking about. They've sold weapons to Hezbollah. North Korea has historically sold weapons to these groups. Are you serious right now?
And who paid for the weapons?
They've literally trained some of these same T groups. They sold them weapons and they trained them. What are you talking about?
Then why isn't it all over the news? Why am I hearing this from you?
No, that's because you don't read. That's all. You just
how can I read something that's not on the news?
You didn't even listen.
I can't read it, buddy.
Oh God, I don't know.
Either way,
are you the only one? Are you the only one that does not know that they have trained and sold weapons to these very groups you're talking about?
Show me. I don't know how they're even getting to North Korea to be trained and sent back to fucking.
You know something, Matt?
I would like to see this.
There's
things called planes.
I'll just tell you something. This is why I've always made it clear from the day I started doing this to let folks know I am not a know-it-all. Sometimes it's okay to admit somebody else knows more than you to prevent this shit from happening.
I just don't trust anything Michael says.
You don't
I admit all the times all the shit I don't know.
It is sometimes simpler just to say I didn't know. I plead ignorance. And you taught me something because you're still. It's like you're fighting quicksand at this point. And all I see is the tips of your fingers.
Are not listening. You're not fucking understanding. You're being stubborn. Your audience is all on your side. I mean, it's kind of like 100 against 1 at this point between the audience, you and Tim.
Well, what I was trying to understand is, why would President Trump throw South Korea under the bus by saying he got a great relationship with a country that's on a terror watch list that he put them on and not explain, well, how the hell did your relationship get better? If it got better, why didn't you remove your friend from the terror watch list?
Look, it's better than it's ever been, but it's not good enough to remove them off the fucking watch list.
MAGA, it's not.
This has been the quietest North Korea has been in my entire lifetime.
MAGA, this is why I'm talking about.
When was the last time they were on the fucking news? Even this time, they haven't really done anything. It was fucking Trump saying, "Hey, we don't need to waste money on war games right now."
Go to
Congress.gov. They fucking all your examples are from fucking 2019.
And look it up. Just go to Congress.gov and look it up.
When was the last time they were on the news?
What does that got to do with it?
They launched a rocket or did anything to piss off the United States?
Dude, bro, reading is fundamental. I mean, Jesus Christ. You see this right here? See this right here? Go to Congress.gov and read this. Mm-hmm. Read this. North Korea back on state sponsors list. I'm going to scroll down here. Just a little bit.
From what, 2018?
Sir, just.
When is this from?
You're not off the list, man.
Specific question. They're not off the list, and I'm going to scroll down here so I can show you.
I didn't say that was never my argument.
Hold on.
I just said this is the best they've ever behaved.
It was your argument before I came up here, but I want to scroll down. Where did it go?
My argument is why provoke them when they have been behaving themselves?
Right here. Check this out. This is just one paragraph. Can you read that for the crowd, or would you like me to read?
Read it.
There's growing evidence that Iran and North Korea are cooperating and develop nuclear capabilities. North Korea helped set up nuclear reactors in Syria, which is on the watch list, which could have been used to produce plutonium for nuclear weapons. Since 2009, several North Korean shipments of equipment used in chemical weapon programs have have been directed to Syria as well.
Are you done? There's nothing in there that says anything happened after 2018.
Jesus,
isn't that your whole argument?
Wait a minute.
What happened after 20? Hold on. What happened after 2018 is what happened after 2018 is a fucking war we in.
From 2018.
What happened after 2018 is the fucking war we in. Did you hear him say that the enriched uranium we're at war with Iran from? North Korea helped them with that shit. That's what happened since 2018.
First of all, you got that backwards.
Oh my God.
Iran has the uranium. They gave them some machines supposedly, and as far as I know, there's no direct evidence of any of that.
I can't believe
what four countries are on the terrorist watch list by the U.S.? What 4 countries?
I don't know. You tell me. I'm not a know-it-all.
I just showed you. I just put it.
You're the know-it-all.
You see how you literally.
But I'll kill.
Hold on, Tim.
I saw Cuba. I saw Iran. I saw North Korea and Syria.
One. So I just told you that I just.
Again, you bring up a fact. You're like, look how.
I gotta move it on. You guys, I gotta get you guys to wrap it up. I do gotta move it on.
What have they done since Trump met up with Kim Jong-un and they've been friends with us? What have they done?
They're not friends.
Especially the last 3 years.
Let me answer you. They've never been our friends. Let's be clear. They are not our friends. They are. Hold on. They can't finish. They're our adversaries. I'm just answering your question. The groups that are on the United States T-Watch group are Cuba, North Korea, Iran, and Syria. Out of the countries that I just named, there is documented evidence that North Korea has supplied weapons to all of them. What are you talking about? Except for Cuba. I don't have that on Cuba. You know why? Because Donald Trump just did that in 2021.
Yeah, your document is from 2018. That means everything in it is from before 2018.
Okay.
I know that you don't.
Mike, I gotta move it on. Mike, I gotta move it on.
You know, of course it was, because that's why they designated them as a fucking T group sponsor. You're fucking wrong.
All right, last word, Matt. And by the way, MAGA,
right. Doesn't make you right.
MAGA also, in regards to your question, when has North Korea been in the news? When has Cuba been in the news? He's fucking with Cuba. He ain't friends with them.
Yeah, but Cuba's 90 miles from my house, Tim. I could fucking get on a boat right now and go to fucking Cuba. That's why they're a fucking threat. North Korea is far away. They're not bothering anybody. I didn't say they were our friends. I just said they've been behaving themselves. So why do shit to provoke them when even South Korea is trying to become more friendly with them and trying to end years of hostility? Because unlike Iran, they don't have fucking God telling them that we're their enemies. They just don't like us because they thought we fucking don't like them. I think North Korea is a possible, we could fix that because, like I said, God is not involved. Religion's not involved. Religion complicates things. I don't know why you think I'm so crazy for saying religion and fucking government complicate things.
I gotta go. We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. All right. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Now, and he's right. Yeah, I do believe in separation of church and state, but I don't believe that you're less of an enemy if your motivation is something that's not religious. Because I look what's going on with Russia in the Ukraine. Religion has no part in that at all, and it's even more deadly than anything we're discussing. There's a lot of dead bodies between Ukraine and Russia, and that's not a religious conflict at all. So I don't downplay any conflict because it's not religious based. I think the issue is in this country, due to the hatred of the Muslim religion, we elevate them to some fictional level just because we don't like their religion. And I'll leave it at that. But I'm not going to put it in some kind of category where their religion makes them more radical and all of this. Because there's a lot of radical Christianity as well. I mean, I don't, some of the shit that's going on in Israel, some of that's religious based as well. Obviously, the Israelis are Jewish. So tap the screen and get the likes on up to 75,000. If you're watching us on YouTube, need you guys to smash that like button. Helps out the algorithm. Does bring in more MAGA. We do want to hear from that side of the aisle as well. We don't block, ban, or censor. Program is always MAGA friendly. Welcome as well. MAGA responds by saying it's hard to convince someone that you're not their enemy when God is telling them we're enemies. Then, we've said the same shit on September 11th when bin Laden came over here with all of those Saudis and bombed the World Trade Center. Yet Trump is very friendly with the Saudis, and they're very friendly with him. What happened to the religious aspect? In fact, Trump is making friends with a whole bunch of Muslim countries. He's more hateful and critical of NATO, the white people. He's more critical of white people, and he's falling in love with goddamn Muslims. So tell me where religion plays a part in that. That doesn't make sense. That absolutely does not make sense whatsoever. Trump is making, the nation of Qatar, which was also once viewed as a state sponsor of terror, just gave President Trump a jet. And now we're teaching them how to fly our military jets in Idaho. I thought religion played a huge part in it. So the religious aspect, it doesn't hold up to scrutiny, if you ask me. Looking in the comments, America is not a Christian or Zionist Nazi country. No, there's a lot of folks that want it to be a Christian or Zionist country. And the Trump administration is indeed a proponent of making America a Christian country. The Trump administration and Trump supporters would absolutely support making Christianity the nation's religion by law. They would absolutely support that. MAGA Reacts doesn't read nothing but yet want to argue about how wrong everybody else is. Unbelievable. And also English is our first language. He's talking about we don't know English. Here's the issue I have. There is no reason for President Trump to be stating that he has a favorable relationship with Kim Jong-un. Because we don't. He's not meeting Kim Jong-un. He's not having summits in North Korea. We don't have any kind of trade going with we don't have anything going with North Korea. The point is simple. Trump threw South Korea under the bus because they didn't help us out with Iran. That is all this amounts to. You saw Trump said in his post that the event is too close to cancel. My opinion is he didn't know the event was about to happen. He didn't know the war games were scheduled. He would have canceled this shit a long time ago. I mean, if he's claiming we're on good terms with North Korea, then we've been on good terms with North Korea since he visited them, which is what MAGA Reacts was saying. So he would have been canceled this. My guess is he didn't realize it was coming up. He heard about it, and because he's pissed off with South Korea for not helping in Iran, he said cancel that shit. And was told it's too close. We've already made plans, and as you hear him say now, we'll scale it back because it's too close to cancel. This has nothing to do with a favorable relationship with South Korea. It's him taking revenge out, or North Korea rather. It's him taking revenge out on South Korea for not helping out with Iran. That's all this is. Kim Jong-un has nothing to do with it. But Kim Jong-un might benefit from it. But this is just President Trump taking revenge out on the South Korean government for not helping them out with Iran. That is all. It's a revenge play. That's all it is. Tim, your lady is on her way, and we're going to be sprung, like she said, Robert. Okay. Well, hopefully she comes in nicely. Fear turns extraordinary measures into necessities, cruelty into security, and silence into patriotism. Don't totally disagree with that. Help your boy with the hat, mustache, TikTok cap goes, if you will. Trump is blaming vandals for killing the grass on the mall. This guy is interesting. We have one of the most interesting, because he's still pushing that. Vandals destroyed the reflective. Ooh, he's still pushing that as well. I'm having Smokey, appreciate Cap. Otto Wembier was dropped off to Trump in America after he was brain dead. Yes, I do remember that. I do remember during Trump's first term, getting that guy back from North Korea, and he died soon after. But yeah, the idea that Trump is saying, based on my very good relationship with Kim Jong-un in North Korea, why is he on the terror watch list if you guys got a good relationship? Either they are terrorists or they're not. So our relationship with North Korea has not improved. Trump was just making up some he wants to punish South Korea and helping out. That's all this amounts to. Let me go back to the box. Otherwise they wouldn't be on the terror watch list if we had some kind of good relationship that he's indicating. Smokey, good evening, welcome to the program. Because just like MAGA Reacts, he's a huge liar, says Dark Son. Smokey, good evening.
Good evening. How are you tonight?
Oh, man, I don't know about last call. What brings you on?
Well, I always like to come up and try to talk with yourself about what's going on to try and maybe bring in some solutions and some civility to the conversation, which is, okay, if we disagree, but what does the law say? Is Trump the problem or is it Congress? Are we arguing the wrong thing? And how do we just make our country better?
Well, what would be your advice to make us better?
We have to know the basics. Where do rights come from? What's our country's name? What's Congress's job? Can an act amend the Constitution? Just the little things that we should all know, Civics 101, because if we knew that, we'd know that persons have rights, it's not women's rights. We know it's United States, not America. We'd know we're March 4th, 1789, not 1776. We'd know that a Gerrymandering Act or Apportionment Act of 1842 can't change the structure of vote to give district voting. We'd know all these basics, that an act to give power of incursion to the president, violating Article 1, etc., we know that that is unconstitutional. So it's not Trump the problem. This goes back for decades into Congress. The fact that we should know that women's right to vote is the non-binary privilege because it changed the word male to the word sex. We should just, if we're going to hire people for a job, we should make sure that we're hiring qualified people. That's all I think.
Well, there's no legal requirement that you hire qualified people, which Trump is hiring loyal people.
Don't disagree.
What is the requirement? What is the legal requirement?
Wouldn't we ask them better questions? So if you got somebody running for your corporation or McDonald's, and they're trying to make Whoppers great, and they're trying to be the Burger King, and they say that they're going to ignore the shareholder agreement, would you hire that person for McDonald's? Or would you say, hang on, is it your job not to make Big Macs great in the name of our company's?
Yeah, but but if you're going to come to the company,
but we have to ask the basics. If
yeah,
the CEO doesn't know the name of the company,
look, asking the basics. Hold on, hang on a second. Asking the basics don't mean shit if the person is not honest to you. Such as when we brought in Supreme Court justices, they asked them were they going to fuck with Roe v. Wade. They answered it differently than what they did. Trump answered a bunch of shit during the campaign that is completely different than what he does now. So even if you're trying to find the most qualified, people can give you answers that they have no intention of living out.
Don't disagree. That's why then we should know the mechanism to redress the government for grievances, to petition them correctly like Republicans do, and follow the paperwork in the Supreme Court to ask them the clarifying questions. And then we hold people accountable, maybe even with this mandamus under Article 6. But if we don't know these things, how can we?
How can you?
So I don't disagree. It's been a big slippage.
Let's take the Supreme Court that I mentioned with Roe v. Wade. Once they're in there, how can you hold them accountable?
Article 3, Section 1, they're not acting in good behavior. Hey, Supreme Court, does a person have rights? Citizen gets privileges and immunities known as the people? Or is it labels of color and gender? And if you categorize as a female, you have no rights. And you will be forced to carry and grow a governmental asset and pay to remove it.
I don't get where you're going.
See, the answer is a person has rights. To take a question of a categorization of a citizen based upon their ability to produce an asset is unconstitutional.
Yeah, but a baby has rights too, they're going to say. The baby in the womb has rights.
Again, there's no such thing as baby or womb in the Constitution. A person does have rights. And a fetus can be a person.
The Constitution doesn't tell you. The Constitution doesn't. The Constitution does not say you have to be outside of the womb, living and breathing.
Yet, again, I'll explain it. You don't even have to be in a womb. A person has rights, which is why a corporation has rights. A person who is born becomes a citizen. Citizens get privileges and immunities. That's why you now, after Dred Scott, now a black person couldn't be owned because they had the right of the people, the citizen, to be secure in their persons, in their body. So the citizen's rights supersede the unborn person right, because a person has rights, but the citizen has privileges and immunity to be secure in their persons. Nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation, the part of Fifth Amendment. And slave owners used that when their slave became a citizen and they got paid. Because taking their private property to become for public use, that's how the slave owners got paid, because their slave became a citizen and they got paid. Proving producing a citizen for the government requires payment.
Real quick, in the comments, one of my viewers, Just the Truth, I love the name. He says, I think Trump initially wanted to do good, but stuck his hands into far too many cookie jars, and now it's just chaos. Do you see it like that?
Oh, Trump's coming in, going full swing on it all, taking as much as he can. While he distracts with one thing, how much is missing from Social Security? How much went to private contractors when we could have had the reflecting pool done by the Army Corps of Engineers? I thought we had entire government agencies that were amazing at water and infrastructure.
Yeah.
So why do we keep allowing this? Because Congress left the building a long time ago.
What do you think, if you had to, let's say, for instance, you're talking to somebody overseas, and you're in America, and they ask you, what do you think the goal of your president is? What is he trying to do? How do you answer that? What is the goal? Is it because he says his goal is to make America great? What is your analysis? What is his goal?
It is to make America great. America was so shit we overthrew it with the American Revolution because America was one male patriarchal society that had the King James Bible, went into holy wars, attacked Catholics, allowed people to be owned, categorized other people as zeros so they could take their land, take the commodities and give it back to the wealthy while keeping all the people on oppression. That's exactly what America was. That's why we had a revolution to form the United States.
So you do believe Trump's goal is to make America great? So you do believe Trump's goal is to make America great again?
America 1776, which is the Articles of Confederation, or at least removing anything after the first 10 amendments, like printed in this Bible on whitehouse.gov. That's why we're American citizens. America is back. American flag. American Voters Act. It's America. We're not the United States anymore, unless they need to slip it in for some bullshit. But structurally, we're America. 2 genders, 1 Bible.
So he wants to take us back to what you're saying, the beginning of our inception?
America, 1776. The only time the country was referred to as America with an inception date of 1776 is the Articles of Confederation. We're the United States. 1787 ratified. 1788 came into effect. 1789.
Okay.
That's the United States. What the
So he's not trying to make the United States great again. He's making America great again.
Correct, and he's succeeding.
Why are so many? If he's succeeding, why are so many people? If he is succeeding, why are there so many people complaining then?
Because it's less federal government. He's dismantling all of that. He's taking full control. He's in holy wars. He's able to fire people and rehire them under acts. He's able to bypass any constitutional questioning. He said he's going to run for a 4th term. You can only be elected twice, which means he's already in office illegally. The list goes on.
What? Wait a minute. You're saying right now Trump is in office illegally?
According to him, he said he's been elected 3 times already, and now he's going to be elected 4th. So you can only be elected twice.
Yeah, he did. He does say that.
22nd Amendment. It doesn't say 2 terms. It says you cannot be elected more than twice.
Yeah.
It's not a 2-term presidency. It's an elected twice presidency.
Yeah.
Words matter. So it's genius what they're doing.
He does say he's been elected 3 times. He says it all the time. And nobody actually asked him that. Well, sir, if you've been elected 3 times, then wouldn't that mean you're serving illegally right now? Nobody ever asked him that. That's a good point.
Look at the Supreme Court when he tried going for E. Jean Carroll. Did he try to get the Supreme Court to ask that question? To overturn it?
Yeah.
7th Amendment. No decision tried by jury shall ever be retried in any court of the United States. So it was illegal for the Supreme Court to take the question, which is why they didn't take the question. And it was a violation of the law for Trump to ask the Supreme Court to violate the 7th Amendment. It cannot be retried because it was adjudicated by jury in a civil court. 7th Amendment, people should read it.
Let me ask you this one. This is an interesting, one of my viewers, Kevin, says, I don't think Trump is evil either. I think he is better than the other options, but damn, it sucks. How do you respond to that?
If you think Trump is the catalyst for anything, and you weren't able to understand that this started in 1868 when a person didn't get rights, they were still categorized, but a corporation could get rights the next year in 1869. If you can't understand that the fix has been in for a long time, you keep thinking Trump's the problem, you're a problem, you're the mark.
So you agree with
You're the problem.
So you agree with him.
35 Congress.
So you agree with Kevin, Trump is not evil then. The problem existed before him. You don't see Trump as evil.
He is evil, but he's not. we couldn't get here. Trump couldn't get us here if there weren't decades before, like you said, of saying a woman is less than a person and you need to pay for permissions and we'll decide what rights you have and you're going to have to pay to carry it and remove it. We're not even going to give you maternity.
So if this was already in play,
fucking slavery.
But wait a minute, if this is already in play, why are you suggesting that the president is evil?
Because it can be evil people can still put in evil actions.
Well, what has he done to make you say he's evil?
He never defended the United States. And he pushes the rhetoric of the dismantling of the United States with his projects and his agendas 2025 to dismantle the federal government, having a Bible, having 10 amendments, not honoring his oath, violating continuity, while saying a person is less than a person and can't be in the military, while then saying other people, undocumented, should be incarcerated and arrested and rounded up. The list goes on.
What did he say a person is less than a person? Explain that.
Transgender person can't be in the military because they're another person. An undocumented person can't be in the country because they don't have person rights because the Lincoln-Riley Act violated the 14th Amendment, removing due process for all persons. If we don't like you, we'll categorize you as another person, remove due process, and incarcerate you, maybe even ship you over to another country. It's all happening right in front of our faces, but we want to argue woman, baby, zygote, trans, all this bullshit, and not ask, is Congress left the building?
Yeah, they have. Congress is fearful of their jobs, if not their lives. So they've kind of kowtowed to, as Kamala Harris talked about, they've kind of just stepped aside and let him do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, and that's not the United States. So I don't know what the solution is anymore. All I can do is point out the structural problems and where the structure can be fixed. But no one wants to fix the structure because then it means, wow, people have to admit all the marches for women's rights, I was conned. It's actually person rights. All those people I looked up to and gave money to, it's actually person rights. But they took protections as a person with their corporation. They donated to politicians as the people. Yet they told me I need to pay them and ask the Supreme Court for permissions.
I got to push
snake oil dystopian grift I've ever seen.
I got to push back slightly for any woman. When women start suggesting that Trump is taking away their rights or threatening their rights, I got to push back and say that Trump doesn't get to power. The Republicans don't get to power without the women's vote. Because there's a lot of women that are voting for the government we have right now. So women that are saying men are taking away their rights or men are trying to tell them what to do with bodies, they need to talk to the women that voted those men in. Because Trump won, certainly with the white women, Trump won with the category of white women. And that's the largest group of women in the country.
He wants that. They would. You see, if you're a white woman, you might not be as powerful as a white man, but you're not going to have to work. And even though you have to produce some kids, you don't have to breastfeed them or take care of them or anything because you've got employees, aka slaves, to do that. You get to sit around and drink meat.
Every white woman thinks she's going to get a slave. There's not enough people to do. There's not even enough people in the country.
Trump, their hope is to be able to have that type where they're still higher on the totem pole than somebody else. That's what look at Django. They could be inbred toothless in a fucking shed, but you know what? They weren't black, and there's a chance of them maybe getting into that house and maybe getting some money.
That's crazy because white people, even during the time of slavery, didn't live that good. Most of them were blue-collar, dirty-ass coal miners and shit, barely able to survive themselves. Most white people didn't even own a slave. So if they're thinking that that's going to happen, they're really delusional.
Well, I'll be a crazy MAGA. There are a lot more of them here and now, and if we just make it that we can own them, well, fuck it. By removing the 14th Amendment, we can. Instantly, Dred Scott versus Sanford comes back in. A white man doesn't have to be beholden to anything a black person says or does, because we can own you now. The moment the 14th Amendment goes, every unwhite person in the United States can be owned again.
But let me ask you, do you actually believe my beloved MAGA would want to remove the 14th Amendment and go back to the time when people could be owned in America?
I didn't ask if that's what they wanted. I said, what's the structural reaction? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. The moment the 14th is removed, Dred Scott versus Sanford, I can now own you because you don't have a right of the people to be secure in your persons. You can be a person, but you can now be owned, and I don't have to be beholden to anything that you say. So yes, that's a consequence of removing the 14th Amendment. They'll cloak it as birthright undocumented. The real trick is, now I can go around and claim everyone who's not white, because they're already here. I just got to get them. And then we've got the slave chasers, Article 4, Section 2, Clause 3, where if they escape, we can return them back to the debtor. And then we've got an entire militia to repel insurrection and invasion, so I can roll out the National Guard, create martial law. Then I can use the Third Amendment. Soldiers can't be quartered in your house in times of peace or in war unless in a manner to be prescribed by law. So Hegseth goes, you could just take every non-white person's house, take that fucking property, seize this shit, we're taking the country back.
So
American motherfuckers.
You're talking the opposite of reparations. You're talking about repatriation. We're not going to give you reparations for what happened. We're going to repatriate you with the people that used to own you. That's what you're talking.
Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and the removal of the 14th Amendment instantly makes Dred Scott versus Sandford the law of the land again.
Jesus. I gotta go before you make me fucking cry.
So that's why I'm so precise with words, because I'm fucking scared for a lot of people. I'm a straight white man landowner. I'll be okay, but I'll still get the fuck out if that happens. But people are simping for this shit.
How hard is it for a black man to go? How difficult is it for a black man to go with you?
Well, I think Ireland recognizes gay marriage, so there's something that we could figure out. I might just have to go to Utah and a bunch of us get married, and I'll try to help people.
Now I really gotta go. All right, I thought you looked kind of sexy. You know what I mean? I gotta go. Catch you later, Smokey. Wow. Look, Smokey comes from a different angle. And I actually agree and believe a lot of the stuff he's saying, which is really astonishing. I don't disagree with a lot of what he's saying from the validity of, look, we see what happened with Roe v. Wade. The minute it was rolled back, we went back in history. Now, the idea of slavery and owning people coming back to play in America sounds ludicrous to a lot of folks, particularly my beloved MAGA. But as he pointed out, if you remove the 14th Amendment, which there are politicians that said it needs to be removed. There are MAGA politicians out there that have already said that. People that are already in office. If it's removed and you're able to do what you used to did, there are going to be people that will try it. That's scary. That is frightening. That is frightening. I don't have any other way of looking at that. That's some shit that I believe is true in the likelihood that it could happen. It's just a conversation I wish I hadn't had. I just, some things you don't want to be, you don't want to be deliberately ignorant, but sometimes knowledge can fuck you up in the head. I'll probably end up thinking about that later. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 85,000, if you will. While I get cool, calm, and collected after what I just heard. Tap the screen, get the likes up. I know you pronounce your church and Larry. Durden, I don't know what you mean by that. Comments here real quick. And in regards to somebody who said, I don't think Trump is evil. It's an opinion on how folks view President Trump. And thank you, Blue One Banks. Somebody showing your boy love today with the TikTok cap. Thank you, Blue One Banks. I'm not going to try to say anybody's evil because I don't know what's in their heart, but I do know Trump doesn't mind hurting innocent people. That, to me, is pretty obvious. Certainly when we're talking about, Danny Dan, thank you for the hat and mustache as well. Certainly when we're talking about what happened with the reflective pool, it's pretty clear that they tried to prosecute an innocent guy. The Olympian, trying to suggest that this guy is responsible for a 350-foot gash in the pool or a 350-yard, whatever, something insane that you should have absolute evidence that it happened. And for Judge Jeanine Pirro or AG Jeanine Pirro to say that, we don't have evidence, you actually hired bad contractors. She wouldn't do that if she had a case against this guy. Jeanine Pirro is about as MAGA can get. She's on Trump's team 100%. If she could make a case against this guy, she did it. She said, we don't have a case. It's actually shoddy work, and Trump is trying to pursue this guy anyway. First of all, the president shouldn't be involved in that shit. We're talking about somebody damaging the pool. That's where the federal prosecutor come after you if they got a case or not. The president shouldn't be pushing that. But yeah, to me, it's pretty clear. Trump does not mind harming innocent people. I'm still up in the air and probably on the wrong side of President Trump in regards to what happened to those drug boats off the coast of Venezuela. I actually believe some of them were innocent people, if not all. We'll never know because the Trump administration is not going to tell you, but to make videos, they made videos to rap music showing the boats getting blown up. So they didn't just kill these folks. They actually made fun of it like it was a game. So yeah, I do believe that President Trump does not mind harming innocent people. Does that make him evil? I'll leave that up to you folks watching to come to that determination. But yeah, I mean, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who was in the news. I've told you guys the story of that, where they claimed the guy was trafficking people and had beat his wife or something like that. And they wanted to prosecute and deport him, even though he's never been convicted, not even been charged. He's never been charged with human trafficking, much less convicted of it. And his wife did not pursue charges on him for the domestic violence case. This guy has no criminal history, yet they're calling him a human trafficker and a wife beater. And they wanted to deport him. And he could not be deported back to El Salvador, judge's orders. So they had to bring him back from CCOT. They had sent him to prison. He ain't done shit to end up in prison to begin with. He was in the country at best undocumented. Why did you send him to prison? This is what the Trump administration did. Send the guy to prison. A judge demanded he come back. And they were still trying to deport him, threatening to deport him to Africa, a nation he has no connection with whatsoever. Whole different continent. All he is in the country undocumented. That's it. Been in the country for years. And they're trying to send this dude to Africa and send him to CCOT. Costa Rica steps in and says, well, considering what he's went through, Costa Rica had offered him a home. If you're going to deport him, we'll take him here in Costa Rica. The Trump administration, being embarrassed because he fought back and won, not only getting out of CCOT, getting the judge in this country to get him CCOT and brought back, but also won in proving that he was not a fucking human trafficker or wife beater. So the Trump administration told him, you have to plead guilty to what we're accusing you of, which is human trafficking and beating your wife. Otherwise, we're going to deport you to Africa. Even though Costa Rica, a Spanish-speaking country that you will have a lot more familiarity with, is offering you a home. They were telling them either you plead guilty or we're deporting you to Africa. We're not going to send you to Costa Rica. This is the type of shit I'm talking about. So I do believe the Trump administration, not to mention Alex Preddy and Renee Nicole Good, they just rushed and started calling them domestic terrorists before any investigation. Yeah, I do believe they're willing to harm innocent people. It does appear to be that way. Tap the screen and get the likes on up. Do you realize that Iran was a democratic country after World War II? England and USA fucked that up. Yeah, with the Shah, the Ayatollah, I agree. I can't imagine expending being born, going through education, finding jobs, finding you're not good enough, then you're here. I don't quite get what you're saying there, Snake. Trump is the true definition of the devil. Damn. He is hellbound. I can't speak on that, but there is video footage of Trump himself saying, I don't think I'm going to heaven. He said it himself. I don't know what would make a man say that. I'm not very religious. You ain't going to hear me say no shit like that. Why curse yourself? I don't think I've done nothing that bad to make a statement like that. True until you cash those investments in the comments. Anyways, I'm not wasting my time debating with people that are closed-minded and don't know what they're talking about. I'm basing my arguments on Trump and his administration. Fair enough. Going back to the box, and thank you, handsome conservative, for that dice that did not go unnoticed. Tap the screen. We'll go back to the box. Do the following words bother you? ICE, ballroom, MAGA voter, ID, common sense. You might have TDS. None of those words bother me. But TDS is some kind of made-up ailment by those who, as one of my viewers referred to, are Trump dick suckers to have this ailment. No, TDS to me is something stupid. I'll go back to the box. We'll bring up Spark Chaser. Good evening. Welcome to the program. He knows what he did to little children with Epstein. That's why it's him. Wow. So you think Trump is going to hell because he abused children with Epstein? Yikes. Spark, good evening. Spark Chaser, are you there? Apparently not. We'll move it on. Tap the screen as I always ask. We might be to get up over the 100,000 hump if you guys tap the screen. We'll go to, he's been holding on there, Sherbert. Good evening, Sherbert. Welcome to the program. If it brings him up. I know I'm having trouble with this shit. Sherbert.
How's it going, Tim?
Just another rough day in the trenches with some of my MAGA viewers. How you doing?
I've been fighting with your MAGA viewers in the comments here, and it's really, really, really sad.
What are you learning from MAGA today?
Well, he will never admit that he's wrong. Ever. And you showed him proof. You admitted that what was true on the screen matched with history. Stick the Ruler was going at it by points, not really being angry at all. And he didn't listen at all. And so I'm telling him things that they did and proving him wrong. He just goes, "Oh, that wasn't my argument." You said your argument. We proved you wrong, and then your argument changed. That's changing, moving the goalpost, and he does it every time. It's so sad.
I've got to get more MAGA on the program. I enjoy talking to MAGA. I love me some MAGA. I got to get them on. I need to hear their side. Certainly now with Trump in office almost half his term, I am curious to know from MAGA, as many of them as I can talk to, how they feel so far, in regards to how Trump is doing. Now, I know the argument is, well, you got a visitor, but I know the argument is no matter what Trump is doing, he's better than Kamala Harris. I get that. But how do you feel Trump himself is doing? Not how bad Kamala or Biden would have been. So I got to get more MAGA. But speaking of which, MAGA, what brings you up in regards to Sherbert?
I mean, everything he said was just wrong. First of all, it was Mike Lula. I know one black person's the same to him as the next, but it was a different person. You fucking
I'm not
racist.
good with names. Go fuck yourself. It wasn't racism.
It was definitely racism.
Right.
What did he say? Okay, hang on, Sherbert. Hang on, Sherbert. MAGA, what did he say that was racist in your opinion?
Oh, he came up here. He's like, "Oh, Stick to Rula did this, and that. He made all these points. It was Michael. How do you confuse Stick to
That's
Rula
racist?
with Michael? Like,
You got the wrong black dude wrong, and that ain't some racist?
All black people are the same.
Oh my God! Really? So if a white person confuses Gary Coleman of Different Strokes with Webster, that means he's racist because he got the wrong black person? Really? That's all it takes?
Fucking Gary Coleman and the other guy were on fucking lives every fucking day.
He just confused
You got everything wrong. I mean, you don't even know what we were debating. I'm up here debating how I don't think North Korea did anything to deserve being provoked.
I don't think you're gonna find
They
anybody.
don't like these war games. They're fucking fighting Iran, and we shouldn't waste money on war games with South Korea. That would piss off North Korea. Where we don't really need a second fight. Okay, so I made my point.
Okay,
what did I get wrong? What did I get wrong?
Can I make my fucking point? Can you not talk while I say it, please?
Give him a minute, MAGA. Go ahead.
They have been doing these war games since I have been alive. They show us strength because we spend so much money on our military. This is where we say we're the world police because we chose to do that. So he's literally changing how we do our foreign policy because he's friends with somebody, even though he hasn't taken them off of the terrorist watch list, which then is crazy because it's only 4. We're not talking about the endangered species list, and we were talking about a different eagle. This is 4 different countries, and now he wants to change everything on a whim. The problem is on a whim.
I'll interrupt for a minute. I don't even think Trump's friends with Kim Jong-un. I think he's just pissed off that South Korea did not help us with Iran, and he's using that as an excuse to really punish Iran. He can't just come out and say the reason I cancel war games is because I'm no longer friends with South Korea. So I think he's just using North Korea as an excuse.
Can I talk now? Is it my turn?
Go ahead, MAGA.
Sure, I'm done. Then why did he do the same thing his first term? Why did he do it the other times he did it? Because he know, and also North Korea clearly
were pissed off the last time we actually did it. So we know it pisses them off because it's all over the news. We know he did the same thing before because they didn't want to provoke them while trying to kind of start a peace with them. So, yeah, I understand him not taking them off the T list because they have to earn. That's something that actually helps them. Us not doing war games doesn't really hurt or help them. It pisses them off, and it saves us money because we're not sending resources and troops for war games that we don't need right now. We're actually
so how many times have the war games been suspended? How many times have the war games? You saying when he met with Kim Jong-un, we have not had war games since?
I think there was one time we did. One time he.
Why did we do it? Why did we do it then? If we're friends, why do we do it then?
Because they didn't really
last year.
I don't remember what, because I don't know if they actually did it last year. You look that up. If you find out they did it last year, fine.
Yeah, it's been happening.
Also, last year we weren't in a war with Iran, so if we pissed off fucking North Korea, who gives a fuck? So there you go. You don't even need to look it up. Last year, if it happened, we were not in a war with Iran, so we didn't have to worry about fighting two wars at the same time.
This doesn't look conspicuous.
I mean, do you want to have a second war with fucking North Korea? If you do, have all the war games in the world.
Make your point and stop. You never stop. Come on, man. It's
because I have to be detailed because you're dumb, so I have to give you as much detail as possible. If you understood me correctly, I wouldn't have to be so detailed with my fucking answers.
You have admitted you will say it 10 different ways.
If you were smarter, I could use less
way.
words to fucking teach you what I'm trying to do.
No, bro, you don't understand. You don't understand war crimes. You don't understand the history of anything. And when we're shown proof, shown literal proof by the State Department, and then shown by Alexa saying exactly what the designation still is, you still didn't understand. So whatever, bro.
Sorry, how does the designation change anything?
Well, I see the comments.
That we shouldn't have a second war with North Korea right now.
No, we're not. We're not going to go to war over war games.
How does it change that?
We're not going to go to war over. And Dan Cal even says we have war games every year. We're not going to go to war with North Korea over war games. The point I'm making is, if
I know, but we don't need you don't think we need the food and resources?
I don't think this. I'm going to say what I keep saying. The fact that he added in at the end of his post that South Korea was not there for us during the Iran war. He was showing you his whole card. That is what this shit is about. It has nothing to do. I don't want to upset North Korea. Trump don't even give a fuck about upsetting fellow Republicans. He don't give a shit about North Korea.
What about the other time he did it? Well, what about the other time he fucking did it?
Yeah, he's easily.
North Korea.
Can I answer your question? Okay. And that's a problem when you are the head of the largest military in the world. We can't set tariffs and change them every other week because we are the head of the world when it comes to all of this. It's literally a bad thing that he's changing his mind on it, and you're saying it's a good thing. I don't understand where you're coming at this other than you want to argue.
No, I'm saying we are in an active military conflict in fucking Iran. Why are we even doing war games anywhere else? All our resources should be on winning Iran. So yeah, they're fucking bitching on these ships that they're not getting enough food and all this stuff. So how about we send the food there instead of to North Korea for war games?
Wait. We have been doing this every single year. And then once Pete Hegseth got in there and fired all of the people that knew how to run the military, we are now having more issues like this. The same way when we fired all the FAA people, we started having plane crashes. So it takes good leadership and logistics to get this done. And you ask why, and it's because they're incompetent.
How about this? Hold on, MAGA. Hold on, MAGA, hold the fuck on. MAGA, hold on. In the comments, We the Rebel says, FYI, the legitimate reason to train with South Korea is to be able to effectively work with South Korea in a war. It has very little to do with North Korea. I believe what he said is accurate. I think we're just pissed off with South Korea because they didn't help Trump with Iran. I don't believe it has anything to do with North Korea.
Yes.
So, again, if we're not going to war, the reason to have war games is to practice for war with North Korea. So if we're not in the immediate fucking time, in this right now, going to war with North Korea, is war games with fucking South Korea a fucking priority? Or who does these war games? The fucking Navy.
You don't think the Navy is more needed in fucking Iran, where we're actually still
Not
fighting these people?
According to Trump.
Or do you want to have war games?
According to Trump, Iran is totally defeated. All their shit is at the bottom of the military. According to him, we should be able to hang. We should be able to put one boat over there and be okay. He made it sound like there's nothing to worry about with Iran.
But that's a whole different argument. If you want to have the argument, let's go.
No, it's not.
Basically, Iran is defeated. The issue isn't defeating Iran. The issue is opening the fucking Strait of Hormuz.
Why can't
That's a whole different problem.
How can a defeated country close the strait?
Because it doesn't take fucking terrorists could close the strait. Anybody with fucking the most basic rockets could close the strait.
Okay.
That's the issue. We need to find a way to not ever have these straits ever closed again, including the one on the other side. And
here's what I'd be curious to know. What I would be curious to know, because you mentioned, well, we're at a full-blown war with Iran. By the way, Trump is calling it a conflict, which is some more contradictory shit. But you're saying because we're at war with Iran.
I've tried to say conflict, but since Sherbert here is too dumb, I have to say war.
But your president one day says it's not a war, it's a conflict. Then the next day he's calling it a fucking war. Your president is the one that needs to slow down this conversation.
Yeah, because some people are dumb, and he needs to dumb it down to the word war because
that makes sense to me.
It's not the same.
That makes sense. What you just said. Hold on, Maggie, what you just
did I not send you the video?
No.
Of the fact that all our previous wars were not really wars; they were conflicts or missions or whatever.
So Trump is calling it a conflict or calling it a war to dumb it down for people. That's what you said he's doing.
Yes.
And you can say with a straight face that makes sense.
Because I said conflict 10 times, and number 11 I had to say war because Sherbert doesn't seem to understand the word conflict.
Maybe if your president was consistent, he wouldn't have to dumb shit down. Just say something and stick with that statement. The inconsistency is coming from him.
If you say so.
You don't.
I mean, we're definitely fighting.
Do you think Trump is?
And the fight isn't to defeat them. The fight's to open the Strait of Hormuz.
Do you think Trump is consistent?
As far as what? As far as hating Iran? As far as like trying to keep things?
As far as fucking anything.
His goal was to get rid of the missiles.
As far as anything.
I thought that was the point.
Is he consistent on anything? Give me an example of anything he's consistent on.
What do you mean? He's inconsistent in hating Iran and being tough on Iran. He's been neutral ever since 2018, 2019. He's been pretty good to North Korea, trying to make them a friend from an enemy, like we did with China, like we did with all these other fucking enemies that you know. So I don't get why you're. I mean, he should have done the same thing with Cuba, but his problem with Cuba is he's got these Cuban fucking people. We can't be friends with Cuba.
He's consistent on hating Iran.
No, you don't understand what I'm saying. I can't fucking draw. I don't have crayons to draw it out for you. If I had crayons on TikTok to draw you the fucking picture.
Well, how about
here's amazing.
Here's one.
Because you don't understand. If you understood me the first time, I wouldn't need to
do the weave. Maga reacts. Gotta do the weave.
This isn't a weave. This is saying the same thing 10 times because you're too dumb.
No, this ain't a weave. This is not a weave. It's a full fucking wig. In the comments, We the Rebel says these war games are annual and scheduled decades in advance. Have personally trained. He says he's personally trained with the ROK Marines. I'll keep them as friends. And I would like to. I'm wondering. Hold on. I'm wondering. Did we do these? You just interrupted me while I'm still talking to you specifically. And you just interrupted it. I'm asking, were these war games taking place during the Iraq War? Because you're making it sound like because we're at war with Iran, who needs to be worried about war games? When we were at war with Iran, did these same war games take place?
One, I don't know.
Or Iraq.
Two, Iraq. When we were in war with Iraq, the Army was fighting, not the Navy. Right now, the Navy is more upfront than the ones fighting. If these war game just involved Army, I'd be like, sure, let the Army do their thing. But you want to send the Navy to North Korea or South Korea for war games when we're in an active conflict in Iran. I mean, these war games are not free, right? They cost fuel, they cost ammo, they cost time.
It's in the budget.
I understand it's in the budget, but how about use the resources that we actually have real conflict in Iran?
Congress needs to do that. We need to actually use our senators to do things.
MAGA, your time is up. I got to move it on from you.
Please let me have a little bit more.
All right,
time
go ahead. I got a couple minutes for you. It's rough. I know he has a difference of opinion. It's going to be chopped. I see the comments.
Some alternative facts.
Yeah, I saw Denkel said the war games are supposed to be a deterrent for our enemies around the world. So it's not just about North Korea and South Korea. It's to show the world, just like the military parade that Trump had, and when Russia does that kind of shit, and when North Korea does that kind of shit, it's supposed to be our military prowess. All of a sudden, being a concern that it might agitate North Korea. When has Trump ever gave a fuck about that?
Well, the thing is, we have film crews specifically there to film and do propaganda of how strong our military is. But Trump decided, no, let's roll tanks through Washington, D.C. It doesn't show strength. Actually being able to work with other countries and show what we're doing and what it would actually look like is strength. Not, hey, look at this thing everyone's already seen.
I don't know if I totally agree with that. I mean, I agree that I do favor diplomacy over brute strength, but brute strength can also be intimidating to other nations. I mean, brute strength has its value as well. Trump is a brute strength president. He's not a diplomacy president. He's not a deal, even though he supposedly is this great deal maker, the art of the deal. I haven't seen any fucking deal since he's been president. I don't know where they got that from. JPT Farms, thank you. Go ahead, Sherbert.
Yeah, but by doing the war games, it shows our strength by literally launching the cannons and showing what we can actually implement on the country if we just turn them 90 degrees. Yeah. So, well, I don't understand. If we have tanks rolling down our streets, we know what a tank looks like. We paid for them. Versus showing what a tank fired on the top of a fucking helicarrier hitting the fucking beach. Like, that's a show of strength versus rolling down our street.
Sure, but the tank rolling down our street is going to make international news, just like the tanks rolling down Moscow or the ones rolling in Pyongyang in North Korea. You still see that. Just because you're not in North Korea, countries see what they got rolling down the street. So I get what you're saying. We know what it looks like. And by the way, there's a whole lot of Americans that don't know what a lot of this military stuff looks like. So it is something.
I disagree with you, Tim. We've got YouTube. Yes.
It's different seeing it in your face, though.
Nah. Yeah. I've been around this country a little bit, and every single one has a military depot or what is it called when they sell all the old equipment like jackets and canteens and stuff? Military surplus. Everyone's seen a military surplus store, and they've got a tank in front of every single one of those.
I love aircraft. I fly RC aircraft. I got versions of virtually every fighter jet going back to the F4. I've never seen these things in person. Hold on. I've never seen these things in person. For me, I got YouTube. I've watched all sorts of takeoffs and engineering videos on everything from the F4 to the F-35 that is out now. And to see it in person, I've never even seen Marine One. I mean, I got every aircraft you can think of right here on my wall, models of all of them. I've never seen any of these things in person. I would love to see it. So I don't know if I agree with that.
If you go to the Rose Bowl or the Super Bowl, you're gonna have B-2 bombers fly over you.
No, I want
to an air show. You're gonna see all. But
everybody ain't done that. Everybody hasn't done that. You got to travel for that. Everybody in DC hasn't seen an F-16 up close. Everybody ain't done this stuff.
This is a pretty sad argument, Tim. Rolling down our streets versus having an actual display, which we already have. People can go see. They're everywhere. Okay. Like, this is a pretty sad argument, Tim.
I disagree with you. I didn't favor wasting all the money Trump did on the military parade. But, look, it's patriotic to some degree. If it wasn't Trump, or if it was Biden, Obama, or Bush or somebody, I think the whole view of it might have been more favorable. It's just the way Trump, and doing it on his birthday and all of that makes it look like there's some kind of ulterior motive as well. But Trump, a lot of things that other presidents could probably do and be viewed favorably, because of Trump, his attitude and the way he acts, he's going to get criticism in a lot of areas that other presidents might be able to get away with.
I got one point you can drop me, Tim.
Sure.
We had to fix the roads in Washington,
I know.
D.C.
That is true. That is true.
Wait. Let me. It's a multi. There's two things to this. We had to fix the roads after the tanks rolled through. And we knew we were going to have to, but we had to. And then he rolled the beast onto the National Mall and over the reflecting pool, damaging it.
Megan Kelly did a real good video on that.
Now we have to then fix that one and fix the roads around it because we drove our heaviest vehicle on top of it. And it's just like, we don't have to be spending the money twice if we just don't do stupid things.
Yeah, I mean, Smokey came up earlier and said we had the Army Corps of Engineers. They should have been the ones to make sure the pool was blue. He hired contractors to repay them for probably, putting money in his campaign or better yet in his pocket. I mean, yes, I know what he's doing. Probably will fall under the category of corrupt once he's out of office. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things Trump is doing you should not do. And the only defense even MAGA has for it is to point to something that Biden or Obama did. They're not even defending it. They're just saying, well, Biden did this or Hunter Biden's laptop. There's not even a defense for it. It is corrupt. So we'll see how that goes in the future, perhaps after the midterms. But Sherbert, thank you.
Have a good night, Tim.
You too. Tap the screen, get the likes on over the 100,000 hump. I like that. Get us up to 110, if you will. Hired his friends downstream. Yeah. Hey, look, it's just like when we often bring up the protest on January 6th, the right brings up Black Lives Matter. And we had this conversation with MAGA Reacts the other day, and I was telling him, you can't, if you're being charged with a crime, bringing up the fact that somebody else got away with the same crime is not going to save you. And I do believe that's what's going to happen if Trump gets charged with anything that's corrupt. Bringing up that Hunter Biden or bereavement, that doesn't save you. Or anybody that's near Trump. He's going to probably try to give himself a blanket pardon. So I guess it'll be left up to our Supreme Court to determine whether or not his pardon is effective. I know he was granted immunity, but that was allegedly in connection with what he does as president. Insider trading and cryptocurrency. None of that got anything to do with being president. So I don't think that is covered by immunity. So can he pardon himself for doing something like that? I don't know. We'll find out because all of that will have to go to the courts. They're going to challenge him because there's so many things he's done that are out of the ordinary or borderline corrupt or some cases even an outright violation of the law. Certainly, I brought up the Venezuelan drug boats. That could constitute as a war crime easily if you're killing innocent people. So do we have proof that those folks were actually guilty of what he said? I mean, otherwise, yeah, certainly if they can prove that we knew, maybe we knew those folks were innocent or, the Iranian school comes up. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I don't know. But my guess is Trump is going to give himself probably the most encompassing pardon any president has ever given. He may issue himself a pardon that is many pages thick, trying to cover everything that the liberals could come at him with from every angle. Because there is a lot there. There is a lot there. Anyway, looking in the comments and tapping, religion was created by man to control men of weaker minds, says virtual reality. I definitely agree, at least in part to that. Maybe in whole, but let's say, for instance, religion is real. Let's say God and Jesus Christ is real. I do believe other religions have spawned off where folks decided, I don't want to follow this guy. We're going to go down the road, change a few things, and create our own religion so that I'll be in control. I think that's how you have many different sections of Christianity. From Baptist to Lutheran to Catholic, I think that's where that came from. Some folks separated and said, I want to be in control of it, so I'm going to tell these people something close, but different from the group we left, so that now I'm in control. I do believe there's some of that to it. I do. Tap the screen, get the likes on up. Some is a stretch, says Alana Montana. Well, I appreciate you being here. You can be critical of the host on Clapper. You better hope their religion is not real, Tim, or your ass is gonna burn. That is the risk I take. It's not that I don't occasionally say a word or two. in hopes that the man above gets it. You know, they say, there's no atheists in foxholes. When I'm on a plane, I'm conducting subconscious sermons up there, especially during turbulence. There's times I say a word or two, But I do strongly believe a lot of the stuff that I was taught coming up as a Baptist in church, going to Bible school every summer, it just doesn't make sense. A lot of it doesn't make sense. Not to mention in my church, we had this huge, huge painting of Jesus Christ behind the pulpit that was about 3 stories high. So white, blue-eyed Jesus. And I was in an all-black church. So, I know a lot of it is not true. That's all I'm saying. I know a lot of religion has been, what's the word I want to use? Contaminated by man. A lot of religion has been contaminated by man for their own personal gain, which is why I mentioned separating from this group, going down a few hundred, maybe a few miles away, starting your own tribe and calling your religion something else similar. Because they all have a lot in common. The core tenets of religion are very similar. It's just little pieces off the side. Most of them believe those 10 commandments is really, all of them believe in that. But then once you start separating off of that is when you start getting all kinds of other shit. Anyway, going back to the comments, Arnita, thank you, Arnita, somebody agrees. Tempered, contaminated, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I fly every 3 months and I still do that. I don't really like flying since DVD. I like flying because I know there's a nice destination at the end, but turbulence does still, it jars you a little bit, even though I don't think there has ever been a commercial airliner that's crashed due to turbulence. It's never happened. You can really shake the shit out of a commercial airliner. Turbulence is not down. It's an uneasy feeling that most people are not used to, so it scares the shit out of us. In the comments, how does the woke sleep at night knowing AOC's eggs are suffering in the cold? I don't think the woke thinks anything about AOC's eggs. Donald Trump is a consummate bullshit artist, and this goes a long way in explaining why only 150 people are participating. Tap the screen, get the likes on up. By the way, if you're watching us on YouTube, certainly smash that like button. Let me go back to the box. Happy boy out with the hat, mustache, TikTok cap goes to Mike, the boss. Good evening, Mike. Welcome to the program. Mike.
What's up, young brother? What's up, young brother?
You be cautious. I don't want you don't matter reaction to come up here and bite your ass. He'll bite you. So you be cautious.
Yeah. I want to clear something up again. So funny. MAGA said, I want you to remember, and I'm going to move on because he's not really worth the energy.
Ooh.
But MAGA reacts. When he was talking about the Navy, about the war games and the exercises that we conduct with South Korea all the time. That's like what we do. And then he went to this, maybe we do them because of the resources, because we're in the current conflict. And that's why the Navy, which he was wrong then, because we deployed the Navy during Iraq, actually more heavily in Iraq than Iran, by the way. Because you got to remember, you remember shock and awe, Tim? You remember the whole shock and awe?
That's what we promised when we went in there. We're going to blow every damn thing up.
And how did we do that, Tim? From the air?
Yeah.
And where were those F-14s and F-15s coming from, by the way, Tim?
Kuwait, were they not?
And aircraft carriers, right?
Yeah. The Navy, yeah. You're talking about the Navy.
Yeah, those guys. Those guys. We had 5 aircraft carriers, and I'm not even in the military, Tim. I'm sure DenCal would tell you in a much deeper detail than I can. We had 5 aircraft carriers deployed in Iraq. MAGA reacts 5.
In the Persian Gulf.
Stop talking.
In the Persian Gulf.
Yes, you don't know what you're talking about. Sometimes shutting the fuck up is the best option. And I think you should take that option more often than not. So let's move on from that.
Yeah, he did make it sound like in the Iraq war, it was only ground troops and the Navy didn't play any part in it. But yeah, you're right. Shocking all. A lot of that was tomahawks and shit being fired from Navy vessels in the Persian Gulf as well. So yeah, the Navy was definitely involved in the war in Iraq too. It's just that Iraq, we called it Candyman, Candyman. You see, you said 3 times, and you know what happens. So
I didn't say it 3 times. I didn't.
Apparently, maybe we did it collectively.
Now, MAGA Rex, before you say a word, MAGA, before you say a word, you were wrong in the comments when you said that the Marines and the Army weren't deployed in Iraq as well.
I said they weren't deployed in Iran. They're not deployed in Iran.
No, you said Iraq. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it was a mistake. But that's what you put in the comments.
Wait. But I said they weren't deployed in Iraq?
That's what you said in the comments.
No, I'm going with what you said. You're pretending like they weren't.
No.
Let me say my actual point since you got it wrong every fucking time.
Don't say what I said. I didn't say that they weren't deployed. I knew they were deployed.
In that particular reply, I was trying to say what you said because how stupid it was. I was just replying, this is what you said, and it's stupid. That's what I was trying to say.
Where's your girlfriend?
She's at work. She's at work for 2 weeks.
She's at work for 2 weeks.
Yes, unfortunately. That's why I got so much time for your ass.
She's at work for 2 weeks?
Oh my God.
She's so busy. I don't have time to. She doesn't have time.
That's the longest stripper shift I've heard in my life. 2 weeks?
She's not a stripper.
She is
strippers actually have plenty of time. The strippers, they got plenty of time.
She gonna have stripper pole racks like you wouldn't believe.
If I was sleeping with strippers, I'd be with them right now because this is around the time they get energy to fucking.
And how would you know that? And how would you know that?
Because I've dated fucking strippers, I've dated porn stars, I've dated pharmacists, I've dated fucking doctors.
You've dated.
I've dated everything.
I know. Is that what y'all call it these days? Anyway, can we get back to the conversation? What do you want?
Got the body of a god.
My actual point is Iraq involved the fucking army, it involved the Navy, it involved the Air Force, who bombed shit from air bases like Kuwait, like fucking Tim just answered, because we probably used the fucking bases more than the fucking
but we didn't.
Carriers.
But we didn't. There's that part.
We have so many bases in the area. Why wouldn't we use our bases? Either way, that's not my point. I know you want to pivot to this shit, but that's not my point. My point is Iran right now is mostly the Navy. Iran right now has no help from the fucking Air Force because all our fucking bases in the area keep getting bombed. And they have no help from fucking the Marines because we don't want any troops on the ground.
Hold on, Tim.
Who's helping fucking the Navy right now? And you want to send Navy resources to North Korea?
Can I answer your question? You said who's helping the Navy right now? Marines are deployed over there, right? There's Marines on those aircraft carriers, correct?
Have they been deployed to the ground? Have they done anything?
Are they in
maybe some Army helicopters are helping, but I don't even know this.
Wait a minute. I'm answering your question. We know the Air Force is involved. You just said it was the Navy. We know for a fact the Air Force is involved, correct?
Really, they were at the beginning, but not anymore.
Which jets, MAGA reacts?
Navy jets.
Jesus Christ.
You know how that works, right? It has their own jets with their own fucking pilots.
You're not
Air
smart.
Force has. He does. He's like, you're not smart. I can say that you're dumb all day long too. It doesn't work if you don't fucking actually say why I got wrong.
Would you like to make enough?
Oh no!
What's the bet? I'm sure you're gonna find a way where
the Air Force involved in this current conflict with Iran.
I mean, they're involved, but they're not involved.
No,
like
you
said.
Hey, wait, hold on. I'll just say this.
I said it was mostly the fucking Navy.
Hold on.
Don't fucking change my words.
Hold on, while
you
calm down.
It was mostly the fucking Navy because the bases in the area have been blown up.
Didn't they shoot down an Air Force? Those East?
Yes, Tim. The one you mean the Air Force guy we had to go. You mean the Air Force guy we had to go fix?
Yeah, they shot down. They shot down an aircraft.
They fucking after that they fucking used the Navy because the Navy, the carriers are moving targets. Where our air bases in the area are not moving targets.
You just said that they weren't involved. Now, here's the problem. Do you want
I'm talking about today, not 4 months ago when that went down. I'm talking about today. I know you don't know how time works, but I'm talking about right now.
Are you saying they're not involved right now today? Is that what you're saying?
If they are, not as much.
Is that the bit you want to take right now? Yes or no?
Involved, but it's not
the fuck up. I just told you shutting the fuck up was the best option.
It's mostly the Navy, and you want to send Navy resources to the. Are you saying the Navy is not doing most of the work?
Again, you're not listening.
Who's
I don't know why
doing the
you spend $10 to
Who's
come up to sound
blocking?
stupid.
No, you're the only fucking asshole sounding stupid with your little tricks that don't work anymore.
It's not tricks, they're just facts.
Learn them all.
They're just facts.
They're fucking tricks. You fucking call something a fact, and now it's a fact. What I'm saying is facts.
Okay, so MAGA, is it a fact the Air Force is involved today?
It's involved, but the majority the fact on the ground is the majority is the Navy.
There's no one
the
on
Navy,
the ground.
Fucking drones hitting them.
There's no troops on the ground. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the fucking blockade, the conflict, the blockade that's blocking ships from going into the fucking Strait of Hormuz. That's stopping Iranians from fucking getting oil.
So that would be
all the Navy. The Navy.
So that would be the Army. So that would be the Marines too, right? They're on these ships, right?
It's mostly the Navy.
It's not what I asked you.
How many fucking ships have we fucking boarded? How many ships have we boarded versus how many we shot at?
You're not listening.
If it was Marines, it would be like ship boardings. We haven't done many ship boardings.
Is the Army involved?
There was a little bit of use of fucking Army helicopters to stop the drones.
All of our military is involved in this.
It's mostly the fucking Navy. Do you not understand the word mostly?
All of our military conflict is involved.
So are you saying it's all equal? Stupid. That the Navy is doing the same work as the Air Force, the same work as the fucking Marines, and the same work as the fucking Army? Are you saying they're all equally sharing the burden, or is it mostly the Navy?
No, I never said that. That was never my claim.
Well,
your claim was
it's mostly the fucking Navy.
4 minutes.
Hold on.
And we shouldn't send Navy
4
to
minutes.
North Korea.
That wasn't your claim. Your initial claim was...
It was my claim because I said we could send Army.
MAGA reacts.
Send Navy.
MAGA reacts. This is very simple. Would you like to bet that as well? Because you came up here and said that. Now, would you like to... Tim will clip it and send it to us. Would you like to bet that you came up here... Would you like to bet that you came up here and said the Air Force was not involved? Would you like to bet that?
I don't think I said. I'll bet that right now. I'll bet
Would you like to bet that?
I didn't say anything.
50 bucks?
When are we talking about? When are we talking about? This time or earlier?
You sent a Galaxy right now and came up and said that the Air Force was not involved.
Are you talking about this fucking right now when I sent the Galaxy right now?
Yes. You want to take the bet?
No, because I gotta know what the fucking actual terms of the bet are. Because I don't know.
The bet is you brought your dumb ass up here and said the Air Force was not involved.
Yeah, but I said they're not involved now.
No,
they were involved at the beginning.
And you didn't want to take that, but you can take it now.
What I said is the Navy was the most is the one doing most of the work. Is what I said earlier. What I'm saying now.
Okay,
no, that's not what you understood because you're either dumb or pretending not to understand the words I'm saying. Are you dumb?
Sir,
I can call you dumb all day too.
Can we move on?
2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes,
Can we move on? What else did you come up here for?
So, if the Navy is mostly used in Iran, why do you want to send Navy to North Korea for games?
Because we do it all the time.
You don't think they're needed more in Iran for this conflict?
No, we do it all the time. No, we do it all the time.
Let me say also,
so
Matt.
You don't think our resources, our Navy, being overworked? Who's being overworked?
MAGA,
who's overworked and been on sea for 270 days?
Not according to
you want to send to war games.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say, MAGA. If he's going around bragging how this is a cakewalk and it's so easy. Yeah, I mean, we could have a war games. What you're saying makes more sense if that's the case. But according to Trump, this is no big deal. He can beat Iran with one finger.
I'm not arguing according to Trump. I'm arguing the actual facts on the ground.
So is he lying?
The Navy is needed in Iran.
Is he lying?
Be doing war games in fucking Korea.
Is Trump lying then?
He's fucking. I don't know if he's lying or not. I don't know how long the fucking Navy could stay out there.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
Guess what, MAGA? Ask the leaders. They'll tell you it was too low. But here's the thing: you came
and you want to send them to play war games. You want them to play war games, and you think it's too long, and you want them to waste fucking time playing war games.
Because that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to do these exercises.
Well, why are they supposed to do? They're supposed to do whatever the executive does.
Can I finish?
Whatever the executive says.
And guess what? This was already planned and scheduled. The executives had it on the calendar already. The only reason can I finish? The only reason he's reducing it, because Tim told you earlier, because North Korea didn't want to get involved in this shit. But why would they get involved? And here's where it goes full circle. Why would they get involved with this conflict with Hezbollah involved when North Korea has been a sponsor for those groups? Why would South Korea want to do that?
I got to move it on, Mike. Go ahead. Last word to you, Mike. Mike, I got to move it on.
Because you found one document where they used some bullshit experience.
All right. Last word, MAGA.
No, he's just wrong. Just because he says he's right doesn't mean he's right.
It's just because you say he's wrong.
In Iran.
Go ahead, make your point.
You might be right too. I'm not saying you're wrong about what you're saying, but if I'm fucking in charge of the Navy and I'm needed to fucking blockade the Strait of Hormuz so fucking Iran is not getting oil, I'm not gonna send fucking Navy resources to North Korea for a war game. Right. You know, you being right doesn't make me wrong. I'm not wasting resources in North Korea for war games.
All right, we'll leave it at that. And I'll just say this. What he's saying about wasting resources in North Korea for war games makes a lot more sense if Trump was making it sound like this wasn't a cakewalk. Now, he would have a problem being a Trump supporter admitting whether Trump is lying or not. But fact is, if what MAGA is saying is true, then what Trump is saying is a lie. If what Trump is saying is true, then what MAGA is saying is not true. It's one or the other, because Trump makes it sound like Iran is no problem. It'll be just as easy as Venezuela. Then Iran should have no bearing on the war games. It should have no bearing on it. If Iran is that easy, it should have no bearing on it. But MAGA Reacts is making it sound like, no, we actually need those resources with Iran, which goes completely against what Trump is saying. So one of them is not being honest. And of course, MAGA Reacts, his goal is to defend Trump. So he's not going to come out and just admit that what Trump is saying, rather, because this is an ongoing statement. He's not going to admit that what Trump is saying about Iran it's not accurate. And to be honest with you, he doesn't have to. I think most of the world now knows that the stories coming out of Iran from President Trump are not true. You know, how they're begging for a ceasefire and they're dilapidated and all. I mean, most of the stuff Trump is saying, I think most of the world knows that stuff is just not accurate. In the comments, the double thinking and double speaking is the whole point of the Jesus narrative, self-contradictory premises that obligates the communists. Okay, you're way over my head with that. I don't know what you're trying to say there. I'll leave it at that. If Iran was that easy, the war would be over, right? True. That is absolutely the point. If Iran was that easy and that much of a pushover, this shit wouldn't be going on for half of a year like it is, with no end in sight. We started with the Iran war started in late February. I think there's hardly anybody that believes this will be over with by February next year. This war is going to go at least a year, probably. Certainly until the midterms, because the Iranians already know what's going on in this country. The Iranians already know that President Trump does not have the support of his own people in regards to this. None of the Democrats support the war in Iran, and there's a contingent of conservatives that don't support it either. And the Iranians know that. Not to mention none of our allies support it, which is why you got Trump getting pissed off with South Korea. So they know, as I often mention on the program, the best course of action for Iran is to make sure the war is still going on during the midterms. Because if President Trump loses to a blue wave in the midterms, Iran by proxy will have a huge ally in the Democrat Party. Iran can't get their hands on Trump, but if the Democrats win in the blue wave, the Democrats can do it for them. Whether it's holding Trump up on charges, trying to take money from his family and associates, or even something criminal, not to mention plus or minus some impeachments. And even if they fail at all of that, just being a Democrat Congress and Senate, even if they just win Congress, they greatly reduce Trump's power and his agenda. Most of those strikes in Iran, all of that shit about bombing them into the Stone Age and the next straight bet, the next worst attack since World War II, and the whole civilization will be gone. Democrats gonna stop all of that. Even if they just Congress, the Democrats will be in power to stop all of that. So that makes the Iranians instantly safer. The Iranians are instantly safer if the Democrats just win Congress in the midterms. So it is absolutely in their best interest to keep this going at least into the midterms. If I'm the Iranians, it's pretty clear Trump doesn't really want this to go full blown. He doesn't want to put troops on the ground. I would stall him. I would try to push for another 60-day ceasefire. The 60-day ceasefire just ended today. I would try to push for another one. Say something that he likes, we're scared or some shit, whatever. Say something on the world stage that'll make him happy and get another 60 to 90 days. And then after the midterms, fuck him. But I would try to stall because the goal is to get the Democrats to win in the midterms. Either do it that way or do something else horrible that will make more people in this country continue to hate the war. That's what I'm doing if I'm Iran. Anyway, looking in the comments, it's not going to just be carried to midterms. It's going to escalate. It doesn't escalate unless Trump does it. The Iranians were not trying to attack America. America was trying to attack the Iranians. I'm not anywhere near confident of Trump's statement that they were going to get a nuclear bomb and use it on us. I don't believe that was going to happen. Whoa, who sent that? Thank you, Marty Marr. Appreciate that. Whatever that was, that Cal mapping. Thank you very much. In the comments, Weeder Rabble says the United States Marine Corps vessel boarding and flies the F-35 off of carriers along with the name those bunker buster A-10s. I got all those aircraft up there. The A-10 straight boats in the strait. So all of the branches are involved. A-10's a fun aircraft to fly with the double engines as well. You can do some weird shit in the air with that. And the F-35 with the controlled nozzle. You can move the nozzle. Anyway, looking in the comments, the Pope is the authority. You guys are really religious in here. This war would not make them win. All right. I don't want to hear, I'll just ignore it and shove it in the cupboard. Literally, the reason it's called a poison well. Okay, you guys are getting too deep into religion. I'll leave that alone. We'll go back to the box, tap the screen. I kind of feel bad for MAGA Reacts, just bow down gracefully, says RGB on Substack. By the way, if you want to be a caller, you can be. It doesn't cost you anything to do so. We're live on Instagram, Substack, TikTok, and Clapper. If you watch this on YouTube, unfortunately, YouTube doesn't allow us to take callers, but you can be a caller if you have Instagram, Substack app, TikTok app, or Clapper app. Doesn't cost you anything to be one. Going back to the box, and thank you folks that have been supporting the program. Help your boy out with the hat and mustache. TikTok cap goes the one and only Miss Mo Better. Good evening, Miss Mo Better. Welcome to the program.
Hey Tim.
Hey.
You know I'm cracking up, right?
What brought about a chuckle? Tell me what brought about a chuckle.
Because MAGA Reacts keeps spending his money to get us there, get his ass.
He's in the comments, Candyman. He says, do not say his name 3 times. So you already said it once. I want you to hold your tongue, ma'am.
Candyman.
Okay. That's Candyman. Don't say MAGA Reacts 3 times is what he's saying.
MAGA Reacts.
You would do that, wouldn't you? But anyway, before you get hammered by somebody wearing a red hat, what brings you up here?
I really came up here to laugh at that shit. That shit is funny as fuck.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, to quote Hulk Hogan, the late Hulk Hogan, what you going to do when all the MAGA maniacs get their hands on you, ma'am? So understand, you got to watch it before MAGA comes on here. So he said, I'll give you 5 minutes. What did he say that makes you
matter of fact, we ain't even gonna talk about him no more. Fuck him. How about that?
God, all right, fair enough.
I say that disrespectfully. Because he don't be talking about shit. He be wrong about half the shit that he talk about. He be sitting in his basement making up some shit on Grand Theft Auto and then come on here and try to say,
Listen, I disagree with him with the Grand Theft Auto graphic, but I do give him an E forever. That was pretty cool. He made a graphic to show the running over of Renee Nicole Good. I mean, he wanted to show how the wheels and things. I mean, that was actually a pretty good graphic he did. I just disagree with the way he illustrated it, but it was a good graphic.
That's how Trump be running the business too. That's how Trump is running America.
Oh my God.
Then he got you there to call somebody dumb. Make that shit make sense. Go somewhere and learn something.
Well, listen.
Every day with some fuck shit, and it's annoying sometimes.
Well, listen, you lean left to the folks on the right. And anybody that leans left is an idiot. So he would, if he says you're dumb, that's just kind of par for the course. The right thinks that the left are idiots. You don't know who it is, and you want to force.
A woman is something that half them motherfuckers talk about ain't getting. That's what a woman is. Y'all, the only women y'all know are the Palmer sisters. You know the Palmer sisters.
Oh my God! Really? Did you just say that? The Palmer sisters. Oh, I got a new attitude. Oh my God. Okay. And by the way, I got a poll question on YouTube.
The Pointer sisters. That's the point.
I know you're talking about. I know the I'm getting the play on words. In the comments, will America win the Iran war? Is a poll I have going on YouTube right now. Only 50 responded so far. 27% say yes, America will win the Iran war. 72% say no. Where do you stand on this, Miss Mobella?
This is my thing. Like, why is this even a question? I thought we obliterated everything over there already. I thought it's not a war. I thought it was just a conflict. And that's what I really wanted to ask Max. What is a war? That's my question. And he's still in here. If you hear, what is an actual? I would like to know that, because apparently we've been having the wrong definition of what a war is. They keep saying that it's not one. So what is an actual war? And that's why when Smokey was talking earlier about words matter, words do matter. Not just words, the definition of what you see, what you thought the war was. You know what I'm saying? Or war is. And because we see Trump is not, he's ignoring Congress. Congress is weak.
Yeah, he says wars when Congress declares it. Yeah, I just look, if you're driving bombs and killing people, that's a war. If you're driving bombs, you got weapons of war hovering outside of people's territory, and you're launching all kinds of bombs, you're at war. Fuck Congress, you're at war.
Period. And I don't care whether Congress approves it or not. It is what it is. A war is when you do have conflict between both people, both sides. And have we not seen that?
Yeah, the definition of war says nothing about Congress in any dictionary. A war has its definition of what it is, and Congress doesn't make or break a war. You can go to war without Congress.
Right. Well, you see the problem is they don't go and read things for themselves. They listen to everything that the liar in chief says, and he makes up a different word every day for something. No. He does. He demonizes everything, and he be lying about most of the shit. He's around here disrespecting people, and what I'm seeing right now is fascism. That's what I see coming from this administration.
But they're going to want to know. My audience is going to know what the hell would make you suggest that the Trump administration are fascist.
So what I would like to do. What I would like to do is give them the definition of what fascism is, and you tell me where we have not seen it in this administration. And Mag Reacts, you just remain silent. You do have the right to remain silent. That's one of the.
Give me the definition, and then we'll go to Mag.
Are you arresting me?
This is the definition of fascism. Fascism is a far-right, authoritarian, and ultra-nationalist political ideology. It prioritizes the nation above the individual, total loyalty to a dictatorial leader, and uses violence and strict control to crush any opposition. Is that not what we're seeing?
MAGA, what do you say?
No, it's not. And the only time I remember fascism is, first of all, can the left be fascist?
Can the Democrats be fascist? That's my first question.
No, because far right. I mean, fascism is far right.
So what is it when the Democrats do all those things?
Not talking
because
about
they did when it was COVID. During CV-19, they did it. They locked us. They locked our businesses. They locked our churches. They changed how we voted.
In this current administration, you keep trying to pivot and go back to what the I said, what are we seeing now?
I don't think any of it is fascist at all.
Well, I'm not expecting you to see it because you got Trump's.
I have all the same freedoms. I haven't lost a single freedom.
You cry orange tears. Like, shut the fuck up.
Let me. In regards to his question,
hold on. You're speaking.
He asked the question: can the Democrats be fascist? Now, I mean, just in some of these cases, the answer is yes. But this is Lawrence Britt's. This is what I found on the internet. Lawrence Britt's 14 characteristics of fascism: powerful nationalism. The Democrats is a large tent party. They favor diversity. So you're never going to get Democrats talking about nationalism. So that one right there is only something the right is going to do. Now, disdain for human rights, anybody can do that. Now, but the right
during COVID.
You trying to tell me during COVID the Democrats showed a disdain for human rights?
Yeah.
How
they
so?
They did. They took away our ability to go to church, our ability to go to school, our ability to open our business. They arrested people for not following everything they say. They were the most fascist America's ever been during COVID.
You understand what was happening during COVID?
Yeah, and they used it to be fascist. They used it to be fascist as fuck. They changed all the fucking. They changed all the fucking election rules.
No, they did not. No, they did not. You're lying again.
They locked up people. Did they not lock up people for fucking wanting to open their businesses?
Where did they lock the people up at? Where?
What do you mean? Texas and fucking New York, all over.
No, I'm in New York. That wasn't happening. Where?
If you say so, they forced them to close their businesses. They forced us.
What I'm saying is you getting up here with this bullshit.
Show you what real fascism is. Show you any of those things.
Fascism. You those boats from Venezuela or wherever they were coming from, which had no evidence of any wrongdoing or foul play.
How is that fascist? That doesn't even affect the Americans.
It all goes under fascism. That's why you need to go somewhere and read. Stop getting.
I remember. Biden tried to start a ministry of truth. Literally, they called it the Ministry of Truth to fight misinformation.
What happened?
Yeah, I don't get that. Say that
Biden
again.
tried to start a Ministry of Truth to fucking censor the social media.
He's banning free speech, freedom of press, and all kind of stuff.
The press is still
all of that stuff. It falls under fascism. Who
are these?
I'm trying to teach.
Who is this press that got fucking silenced?
Did they not try to fire those people? What's his name?
Those people could still go online and say everything they want to say. It's not like they got banned from all the social media laws. Who the fuck silenced Trump by banning him from all the major social media? Was Trump not banned from every social media there was? Can you say the same about these people that are so-called?
Lying, and they proved him to be a liar. Listen,
okay.
You can keep blowing on his balls all you want to.
Jesus Christ.
But how come he hasn't done the same to these fucking journalists you're talking about? Why he hasn't gotten them banned from all the fucking social media like he was banned?
Oh, he's working on it. But you got some of them that stand up.
He hasn't done it. Working on it is all you got.
That are not afraid to stand up to him. And go to court cases and shit that he lose for the shit that all of that is a part of it.
I know, what's his name? Bannon and the other guy were actually sent to jail. Has anyone from the fucking left been sent, Democrats been sent to jail like Bannon and the other guy was? Has anyone from the Biden fucking administration been sent to jail?
They proved them to do anything wrong.
Come on. Fucking contempt of Congress.
But for who?
For Bannon. Bannon was in jail for like a year, and so was the other guy that was friends with. There was like 3 people I know of that were friends with Trump that were actually put in jail. We're Biden's friends that were put in jail. Guy's name that was
what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
Hold on.
Bannon was in jail for like a year under Biden.
Yeah, please be quiet.
Or the other orange guy, what the fuck's his name?
To say British.
Because they got caught. The only thing is he keep talking about New York and Texas. Who was in charge? What thing was going on?
Como.
No. Who was the president when the COVID came?
There was no. All the fascism came when Biden took over.
Who was the president?
Trump.
Yeah, that's only the first year under Trump. What did Trump do to that was fascist? What did Trump do that was fascist?
He told your dumbass to go inject some disinfectant.
What church did Trump close? What businesses did Trump close?
He closed the whole country.
Everything.
For 2 weeks. They closed it for 2 years.
2 weeks.
So he was a fascist for 2 weeks?
I'll give you that. He was maybe a fascist for 2 weeks. But what he did was nothing compared to what the Democrats did.
Okay.
The Democrats fucking used COVID to set the rules on everything.
That's going to
end up being
I was listening to you. You just said they did it in Texas too, didn't you?
Yeah, you did.
Because Democrats run Dallas and Democrats run fucking Austin.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
It depends on the fucking jurisdiction on the city.
You got 5 minutes. His 5 minutes is up. Get this burnt pretzel off.
It's 10 miness.
Listen, I'm done too.
You got 2 more minutes. You got 2 more minutes.
I mean,
2 more minutes to get a headache? Hell no. I'm gonna keep listening.
It's uncanny how you get up here and just be spewing shit because you hate to say that Trump is a fuck up.
Well, he only gives Trump a C minus, right, MAGA?
He don't even
minus.
He gives him a C. So he don't think he's doing good.
I'm almost to the point where I want to give him like a D plus.
Wow.
I don't think, because I agree with what he's doing, but the results haven't come out yet. If I was in his shoes, I would have done the same shit. But the results are not where they need to be.
What do you agree with the most right now?
I agreed with tariffs. I agreed with being tough on Iran, although I was against the war.
Why?
I agreed with closing the border. Because I believe more in a consumption tax than a fucking income tax. I don't think you should be taxed for your income. I think you should be taxed for when you spend the money.
But the tariffs,
you should be taxed on what you buy.
The tariffs don't help that. All it does is...
That's what they do. He cut taxes for everybody and instead fucking tax consumption. That's what a tariff kind of does.
Who are cutting taxes for?
For everybody. For everybody. Whatever. All I care about is they cut taxes. That money is going to be in the private sector and going to get spent by...
No, it's not. They
cutting... Social Security is being cut. They cutting Medicare. You're gonna have, for anybody on here that's had parents in nursing homes, they're gonna have to find some way to place those people. You had over 300 people lose their jobs, and they're still cutting them. I work for the Department of Energy. People just lost their jobs this week.
All right, MAGA, it's over. I'll give you the last word.
Energy. How many nuclear plants did Trump open in the last year?
No.
I haven't heard of any. MAGA, I gotta drop you.
And he reopened 3 Mile Island too. So we got all these nuclear plants. He's constantly working with businesses to improve the economy.
No, he's working. All right, I gotta drop you, MAGA. I'll just say this: it's a big difference between what Trump is doing and what he is saying he's doing. So it sounded to me more like he's going by what Trump is saying. I haven't heard this stuff officially happening. Trump has said with the tariffs, all the jobs are coming back and all kinds of stuff, and a lot of Trump are already echoing this stuff like it's already happened. No, it's
that's the problem.
Yeah,
and that's where the problem lies, because they're not going. And see, and the crazy thing is, when we're going to like the DOJ to trying to get information, they cut the people that gave the information. So in sites to even get the real information. So the information that I am giving out is the people that I see on a daily basis at my job. All the people that has lost their jobs with just last week, and more cuts are coming.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is that Trump
doesn't believe in science. He don't care about doctors. That's why he's calling nurses, people unprofessional. Anybody that can check his ass and fact check him and do stuff, he want to get rid of him.
Yeah. All right, folks, I got to move it on. You guys know how it works. That is the issue, is that when Trump says something great has happened, I say fact check it and make sure, because he tells you a lot of stuff that, you know, might be in the works or may not ever have happened. People are giving him credit like it's already taken place, and that's not the case. Thank you, Ms. Mobetta. All right, moving on. Tap the screen. Get us up to 130. Trump opened 0 new nuclear plants. Alexa, has President Trump opened up any new nuclear plants?
President Trump's 2025 executive orders sparked a nuclear renaissance, speeding and launching a reactor pilot program. By July 2026, 3 advanced test reactors achieved criticality under that program. However, no brand new commercial nuclear plant online yet, though.
Alexa, stop. Kind of what I just said, that it may happen, it may not. Several new projects are, quote unquote, moving towards construction. That means it may happen. That means it may not. But that absolutely not happened already. And that's kind of, now you heard MAGA giving them credit for it already taking place. And that's what I was trying to say, is that he's getting credit for stuff that he's promised versus what he's actually done. Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. They're not informed. They're liars who know they're lying, or else how do they know to lie about it? By deflecting and changing the subject. The cult comes before the truth and above country, even kids, says Uncanny Mountain. Yikes. And by the way, the Epstein files, I guess when you take the country, the cult comes before kids. I don't know why MAGA has backtracked so much on the Epstein concerns they had. The best thing they're doing now, well, you know, Biden didn't release the list. Biden didn't release the list, which is one of the reasons why you voted Trump in. Now that Trump is not releasing it, you're going to go back and talk about Biden some more. We get the message there, Will Knight, no spamming. I don't like to block folks, but you've typed your message a few times. In the comments, North Korea's strategic pipeline. I saw that. Tap the screen. MAGA reacts, they went to jail because they are crooks and were found guilty. Biden didn't release because it was still open. They're saying it was still, the case was still going on or whatever. That's why Biden didn't release it. I don't know. I was told Biden is the worst president ever. So if Trump fails at something, deflecting to Biden is not a flex or any kind of defense of Trump. Biden has been gone for 2 years. You know, Trump is either succeeding or he's not. If you got to keep bringing up Biden's name and you've already said Biden is the worst we've ever had, then that makes you look kind of bad. We shouldn't be still comparing Trump to Biden economically in particular. The man promised to end the Ukraine war in 24 hours. Why are we still talking about Biden? The man promised to lower grocery prices on day one. Why are we still talking about Biden's economy? We should be celebrating Trump's. Why do we have to still keep bringing up Biden stuff? Because there's not a lot to cheer about from Trump. If Trump's economy was roaring and going very well, we would just be giving Trump credit for what he's doing. We're bringing up Biden because there's not a lot to celebrate from Trump. That's the problem. I think there is a lot of fear mongering going on around AI posts. Yeah, there's absolutely a lot of fear going on. There's fear going on in regards to Muslim candidates. They're going to impose sharp law. There's fear going on in regards to the transgender community. They're going to try to change the sex and mutilate children and play in their sports. There's fear going on in regards to immigrants. They're here to rape and murder everybody, taking our damn jobs. Criminals. Probably the only area where there's no fear going on, Caucasians. They seem to have their act together. The Caucasians seem to be doing what's right. In fact, There's no need to fear the Caucasians because they're being victimized by all of this. Have you not heard of replacement theory? They're victims. But everyone else, yeah, there's some fear going on. Anyhow, I do appreciate the 133,000. As always, you guys know how the program is ran. We never block, ban, or censor. Feel free to follow the program if you're watching us on Instagram, TikTok, Substack, or Clapper, and give us a sub if you're watching on YouTube. Until tomorrow, it's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. I got to go. I'll catch you guys later. Take care.